ladies and gentlemen, just give us a moment here as we are going live. Yes, that's right. We are going live today. Gonna be all right. Here we go. Just checking my other sites as we are about to start this. I'm hoping to have some people come on. I hope. Uh, I'm just waiting to hear back from them. The usual crew. Okay, we're trying to see if Rumble is clicking in. Let's see. That's weird. Let's see. Give us a minute here. I don't know if we are on Rumble. We are definitely on live. On Oh, Cam won't be able to make it. Okay, Cam, no problem. It's okay. No problem at all. But I wish you would have been able to come. Let's see. For some reason I'm not showing up on Okay, Cam, no problem. No problem at all. I have to reschedule a different time according to you. No, I'm kidding. We'll catch him on another one onto there at all. For some reason, let's see. Let's check live streaming here. Live streams. Some reason it's not going to over to Rumble, but maybe it is there and I just can't find it. It's hidden a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Madman Cafe. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. We really do appreciate it. We're banking on to the 1400 that we're getting on there. Hopefully we'll be getting to that number. Hopefully either by the end of this month or into next month. We would really do appreciate that on there. Let me just respond to this real quick. No problem, Cam. There we go. Always answer your messages, even if you're on live on there. But hopefully Snob, Death Angel Shadows, and maybe Jason over at Sci-Fi for Me will show up. I'm just going to send out one other invite. Let's see if Culture is available. Live now. Let's see if he's available. Hopefully it is. Hopefully. Oh, there's a lot going on. Right now I'm just getting I don't know if it's breaking news when this happened or when it is. This is coming off of libs of TikTok. For those of you in the New York area, it looks like this a massive sort of protest against ICE and massive arrest, including politicians. So we don't know who got arrested. I know someone was saying a priest got arrested to that point, and it's insane over here. I mean, if you're not realizing what's going on in New York right now, besides the ICE situation, we got the elections to mayor coming around the corner. We got a couple of videos next week. Monday, generally, just to give you programming note, Monday's generally going to be our New York videos. We're calling it Big Apple Mondays. And anything that's going on there, we'll have the videos on the Monday edition on there. That's the way we're planning it. Like we're trying to schedule everything all together there. Excuse me. And the things that are going on in New York right now, and we're going to talk about this next week also into there. The governor of New York has decided that she is going to endorse the socialist candidate, Zohan Mandami, whatever the hell you ever pronounce that name. Which basically one of the main, someone had mentioned, and you'll see it on the video, that basically the reason they're doing it is because they want to fight against Trump. And I always keep saying this, because everything, all you hear is Trump, 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 Trump. There was the Cash Patel uh hearings this week. And what did you hear from the Democratic side? Trump, 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 Trump. And there's a lot of other important things. Well, excuse me, let me refresh myself. Trump, 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 Epstein, Trump, 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 Epstein, Trump. That's what you were hearing. That's what you were hearing. And there's a lot going on with the FBI right now, and people don't realize that. They think that it's just the local sheriff, but the FBI does a lot of stuff here in the U.S. and around the world. And there's a lot of key parts that the FBI is doing. And this is why people were pissed off that the FBI took out of their time, went after school parents for complaining, about what's going on with their kids, the churches, and and certain politics, which was wrong. But yeah, this is the crazy things. But getting back to what's going on in New York, um, the governor, Kathy Hochul, she's endorsing this guy. He's not going to endorse her back. That's the thing. That's well known to that fact. If he does, I'll be surprised. But this is coming from a city that and state that is just. I mean, we got tonight. We got a story on there. I mean, age verification looks like might be coming to New York. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're in New York City, get your VPN ready. Definitely get on VPN right now, because basically there are issues coming that may block you from being online. You don't want to give away your information out there, and that's what I always say. It's like it's the information that they give you out, and your credit card, your um, ID, your facial recognition. I mean, I know people are cheating on the recognition, but we're gonna leave that for a little bit later on. But normally, it's to the point here in New York that we cleaned up New York, and now they're just throwing us back down into the sewer again. And everything that they want to do, for those of you who out there that are voters, is things that won't happen properly. Nothing from the left is going to work, because basically it has been proven it doesn't work. He wants to propose a city supermarket run, run that is a supermarket run by the city. It didn't work. It's worked, that basically it's been done in other cities, and it's done in Russia. It's done in Venezuela. It's many places that it's done. It doesn't work. There's just a fine line of profit, a very, very small margin for these supermarkets to make money. So you can imagine if the city if the city or government issued supermarkets, how they're going to work. But it's just insane. It's just insane, the thought patterns. I mean, Eric Adams, last I heard, what was it? He wanted to take away some of the alcohol out of New York. If you caught that video, that basically there's too much alcohol in New York. It's too much. And the only way we're going to get healthy is to get rid of the alcohol. This is ridiculous. Hold on one second, folks. Just adjusting my chair there. That's better. Yeah, it's to the stupidity is, if you want to be healthy, that's up to the individual. If they want to sit there, eat cookies and ice cream and soda pop, or they want to drink themselves into an oblivion, that's their situation. Now you might say, "So, well, man, that's uncaring." I can't stop them. I can't stop them from doing it. I can tell them, say, "Hey, listen, if you want to a simpler choice to eat. There is ways of doing this. There used to be something called the food pyramid. Ladies and gentlemen, remember the food pyramid? For those of you as old as I am, I grew up with the food pyramid. Nobody talks about them no more. Nobody talks about that because they said it's unhealthy. Yeah, they keep changing what is healthy and not healthy. One week eggs are unhealthy, next week eggs are healthy again. One week wine is unhealthy, next week it's healthy again. They keep, flip-flopping the situation on there. Now, RFK is doing in the right direction when it comes to the food. That yeah, there are certain things we gotta get rid of. A lot of the processed stuff and all that. And they said well, it's not overseas. Yeah, they got it overseas in certain ways. And there's certain crazy food. I mean, have you seen places like in Asia and Japan and all that that have some of that wackiest food? Even though, hey, some of it's good. Yeah, some of it's good, but it's, and it's surprising that they don't gain weight to the point. But hey, listen, it could be genetics because there are places, where is it in Italy that basically they eat pasta like crazy. But supposedly, like years ago, and I saw it on was it 60 Minutes or was it Nova that they had said that there is a gene in certain people, not everybody. It's basically that there's in certain people, and they were investigating, and this was over 15, 20 years ago, and I haven't heard anything since then. But from what I remember is that this particular gene that's in certain people, it just basically doesn't allow them to, uh, it doesn't affect them as far as heart disease and stuff like that, that it normally affects. I mean, yeah, there is some weight gain, but normally when they say, "Oh, it's unhealthy," you basically gonna draw up your blood pressure and all that. Doesn't happen to these certain people to that point. But getting back to, what's going on here. The other thing Adams wants to do now is that he wants to remove the horse, and this is something that's been like for many years now. Since I was a kid, there's always been talk to remove the horse carriages from Central Park. Now, understand that, basically, yeah, there are some guys that are very people that are very bad in treating their horses. That's gonna happen no matter what because there are bad people in the world. But then there are other people who care for the horses. And, as a New Yorker, I've, seen around horses. My old friend, God rest his soul, Richard Concepcion was a horse, he loved to ride horse. There was a stable, and I forgot, it's, way uptown. And he would go riding every once in a while. He had the boots and everything for it, and he would go riding because he loved that. He was always infatuated with that and the carousel. He was a carousel fanatic to that point. And it's the same thing with these guys. These guys are, they love to do this. And they say, well, we're going to replace the horse carriage with just the battery operated, the little thing. No, people come to the carriages because they don't want to be in a vehicle like that. They want the romance of the old fashioned horse drawn carriage, the Cinderella thing and everything like that to that point. You have to remember Disney has carriages, similar to that there as well. They have the horse drawn trolleys as well. And that nobody wants theirs gone. That's kind of weird. It's like, oh no, no. But here in New York, you know, uh, it gets a little insane. And Adams is on his way out. I don't know why he keeps throwing these things in, and to the point. And you may ask yourself, well, what do I think, about the election that's coming up as far as who's going to win? And right now, it's up in the air. And I'm going to tell you, most people say, well, Mandami's going to win. He's going to win. He's a way ahead. I wouldn't trust what they're saying out there because this is the same. It's the same rhetoric in 2016 and and the last election. They said, "Oh no, they're ahead. Hillary Clinton's going to win. You know, she's going to win the election on there, and this one's going to win. Yeah, yeah, she's going to win the election." And it doesn't happen. It's all wrong because they don't know the mind of the voter. The voter said, "Oh yeah, I'll vote for," and he doesn't. Goes off and votes maybe for Curtis Sliwa, which that's what most people are hoping that is Curtis Sliwa is going to be the mayor of New York. Which there and then we're going to get a cleanup. similar to what Giuliani did back in the day. And that's the thing. Most people today are criticizing Giuliani, and with Giuliani, with the help of corporations like Disney, believe it or not, this is one you got to praise Disney on. They cleaned up New York. Yeah, they cleaned up New York City. How they did it? Well, they went in and cleaned it up. I grew up with the Deuce the way it was and how ugly it was. If you want to see what truly the Deuce, go out and look at the pictures and check out HBO's The Deuce. That is a great series out of HBO that shows the sort of the history. I think it started from the 60s to present day on how 42nd Street looked. And most people don't realize is that there's a history behind 42nd Street, Times Square. That prior to the way it is now, you had prostitution, you had uh, drugs, uh, you had the mob running a lot of stuff. You had the porn industry in there, the early days of the porn industry. You had films on there, and then of course, as you got into toward the 80s, you had the AIDS crisis to that point. And there was a lot going on to that, because you had all these stores, these pornographic shops, smoke shops. You had Show World Center. You had dancing girls and stuff like that. Plato's Retreat. Um, you had movie theaters. Someone makes a joke. Three kung fu movie. People says, What is this movie? Three kung fu movie. Actually, it's three kung fu movies for $2 back then, because you used to get 3 movies. Go in and watch 3 great kung fu movies in a murky theater that, these days you wouldn't wanna sit in. You wouldn't wanna sit in at all. But since we're just waiting, hopefully others will arrive here. I just still sent out invitations. I'm still sending out, see if anybody else shows up on there. For those who are already here and in the chat, welcome. Welcome to this edition of the Madman Cafe. We're going to try to basically plan these a little bit more better. I know we've been jumping into it. We're still testing this system out. We're still testing Restream, seeing how it operates and everything like that, and testing, putting, sharing screens and stuff like that. It's taking a little time, but we're having fun with it. We are having fun with it. But to a point. But anyway, let me get started to the point. Now, normally, this is the Thursday night is slotted for Otaku Thursday. Now, I'm going to give you some Otaku Thursday today, starting out before I get into the main things and a couple of major things that are going on right now. Now, supposedly, and this is screen time in a couple other places as we're getting to the end of the season on this. Uh, Don is already been greenlit for season 3. Yes, we're going to get another season of Don. Hold on 1 minute here, just checking my messages. Yeah, if you haven't watched this season, it's been really great, especially with the metal band Exorcism. That was such a good episode. I mean, if you haven't caught this yet this season, uh, do catch it. It is really, really good this season, especially the music soundtrack. The soundtrack on this is really, really good. Another thing that's coming out, and let's see, try to get this on the screen here. Let's see if we could share it here. Hold on a minute. I just got something else going on here. Okay. Where are we here? Yep, there we go. Share screen. Let's see. There we go. Share. Now, if you notice on the screen right now, the if I've talked about this many, many a times. Galaxy Express 39, Leiju Mazimoto's Galaxy Express 39. If you haven't seen this series, it is a fantastic series. This is the precursors to some of the other great series as Queen Miliana, uh, Queen M. Morales, and Captain Harlock. Now, Crunchyroll supposedly, I'm not certain if they're the main on there, is doing another remaster of this, and it's slated for November, so it's slated for the holiday season. This particular edition will be the complete TV series, back to forward. I wish it had the ado on there. Maybe it does. It's not saying, but let me just check here 1 second, because I just got this recently. Yeah, it has the 103:43 ratio, 9 discs. This is Discotech. Discotech is putting this out. It's a 9 disc set, episodes 1 to 113. Yes, this is a long run, not as long as One Piece, but it is a fantastic series. I mean, it is if this is a lot of the spacefaring anime shows. This is one of the series that literally is the basis for a lot of the others. I mean, there are some copies of the Galaxy Express um, genre on there. There've been some others that they've done, and basically the main part is I'm going to read from the description, and that's the best way to do it. After witnessing the death of his mother and being left for dead at the hands of Count Mecha, 10-year-old Tetsuru Honano is awakened by a mysterious woman, Maytal. In exchange only for his company, Maytal offers him the ride of his life on the Galaxy Express 39. It is said those who travel aboard the legendary train to the end of the line can receive a free mechanical body and with it immortality, impoverished and alone. Um, Tetsuo leaps at the opportunity and joins Maytel on a quest that will span the cosmos. As Galaxy Express 39 makes its way through the solar system and beyond, Tetsuo is drawn deeper into a dangerous universe where peril lurks at every stop. Follow Tetsuo and Maytel in an incredible journey through the sea of stars in this complete collection of all 113 episodes classic. And yeah, this is a really good series if you haven't seen this yet. And like I said, this is a precursor. Harlock is in this. Queen M. Morales is in this. I'm trying to. Was Millennia in this? I don't think Millennia was in this. Millennia. If you haven't seen Queen Millennia is about to be put on Blu-ray for the first. Actually, it's going to be put on video for the first time. But if you want to catch it right now, if you have High Dive is airing all the episodes right now. You can go over and subscribe. Pay the monthly fee, and it is a real good series as well. It's outside of the Galaxy Express universe, but it is within. It is within it technically from another point of view on that. But yeah, this is November 25th, 2025 on there. Yeah, it here we are. This is to that point. I mean, so many great things. So many great things are coming out on there. Uh Hold on 1 second. Okay. Another thing, and I was hoping that Death Angel Shadows would have been here for this basically, because this just happened recently on there because he's familiar with Universal Studios. Well, Universal Studios, the new park, uh, basically the Epic Universe, has had its first fatality, and there's not too much on it right now. And basically, uh, supposedly it was one of the coasters. I think it was the dual coaster that they had there. It's not that he fell off or the coaster lost track or anything to that nature. From what they're saying is that he died of multiple blunt impacts. Now, was he trying to get out of his seat, or was he not attached to it? We don't know as of yet. WD Pro is on here. I think what he said, very sad to hear this. Nobody wins here. Whatever the cause will be obviously needed to be remedied, and investigations must bring justice to the tragedy, which is correct. Whether it was the park's fault or the person's fault, or we don't know, or mechanical, we don't know to the situation. but it is pretty sad to hear something like that this soon in the park's business. Ugh, sorry, I keep moving around. Oh. Trying to get used to this new chair, ladies and gentlemen. When you buy new chairs, it's like I bought two new chairs. I'm trying to like wiggle which one is the best on there, which one's the best for gaming, which one is the best for streaming on there. I have a third one, but that one's just my old chair that was my best chair. It's finally dying out. I use it in the dining room area because it's hard for me to get around. It's hard for me to get around a little bit. I do have problem. I am semi-disabled due to I had an accident several years ago. I kind of like injured my knee, and then my health issues started to kick in. I had a nasty edema because I had a blood clot. And basically, what happened was I mean, if you watch my early videos from about a year or two ago, when during COVID, um, basically I blew up like a balloon. I literally, my legs were like, I couldn't move. I couldn't move. Couldn't get off the couch. Finally, they took me to the emergency room. It took 8 firemen just to pick me up. That's how bad it was. Because basically I had to get out of where I used to live. I think it's a little easier here to live because we got an elevator and everything. But my old place, it just a lot of corners, and just to get out of the house, and they had to take off the doors and everything just to get me out of there. And then I ended up in a rehab center for a while, and then returned home at the time. I literally when they shut down the rehab centers and the retirement centers when they were shutting them down for COVID. And ever since then, I've been trying to get myself back in shape again. It's been a long process. It's been several years, and it's hard because you have all this additional fluid. I mean, I lost literally over 150 pounds. That's how much I had on me. I had literally the weight that was on my legs. Just scary. Never want to go through that. If you ever think you have a clot or you start to get edema, get it fixed immediately. Don't let it linger. 'Cause if it lingers, you're gonna hurt. You're gonna hurt badly. Okay, let's see. No, he ain't gonna make it either. No, not gonna make it. Oh, a lot of people are busy today, I guess. Onto there. But let's move on. Let's move on. Get into the main story today. Let's see if we can pull this up. See if it works. Like I said, we're still testing this. And share. Okay, we know what has happened. Jimmy Kimmel. Now, we right now at the moment, he's just as far as this is the suspension, but it looks like probably not coming back, most likely. Now, to the point, understand this. Understand this. From a contract point of view, when you're on television or anything like that, or even working in a company, and you sign a contract, there's a moral clause always, always on there. That's why a lot of people, these people that you've heard recently, that have gotten fired from this show, that show, or to the point. I mean, look at Roseanne. Roseanne got fired, and nobody was screaming about that into the situation. Meanwhile, Jimmy gets canceled, and then everybody's like, "Oh no, Jimmy got canceled. No, we got it's basically it's freedom of speech." No, he said some things that were bad, you know, and basically, and I gotta ask a question because when you see the View, they always have basically the legal notes. He was like, "Hi, yeah, we have a legal note from the lawyers. What we said was wrong, and we do apologize for that." Where was your legal team, Jimmy? Because they would have stopped you right there. Because anyone that his monologue just literally. And I can understand ABC is, "Oh, we don't need another we don't need a lawsuit," we all these networks are losing lawsuits against Trump. We don't need that right now. Or, Charlie I know Charlie Kirk's wife is gonna be suing someone soon too. But here's the thing, and I knew this was going on, but I didn't know it was going to affect this. Now, currently right now, and this is not from the ABC end. This is from, basically the other, network, the other, communication companies, Nexstar and all that. They're basically there are some deals being made that, that they're going to be buying, some new networks into their system. And what's happened here is that basically, yeah, part of what he said was the issue, but the other reason why we wanted to kick him off was basically his ratings and the deal we're making. We don't want that to affect. Now, you ask yourself, well, how is this to that situation? Well, New York Post says it best here. And I'm going to read a little bit from I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Jimmy Kimmel's comments on the murder of the conservative activist Charlie Kirk weren't just noxiously offensive and seemingly misleading. Their timing was also incredibly bad. They threatened to derail Nextstar's 6.2 billion, that's billion with a B, takeover of the rival broadcaster Tegna Telecom, insiders tell on Money. Uh, they already the already controversial deal, which would combine two of the nation's largest owners of local TV stations, poses as a significant antitrust questions and needs a close review by the FCC and its conservative firebrand chairman Brendan Carr. Kimmel's comments made that approval even dicier. That's why Nexstar publicly announced Thursday that its stations will no longer carry the show. Telecom money on the money. Ditto for ABC, which produces and distributes Jimmy Kimmel Live to broadcasters like Nexstar, and likewise has business before the FCC. Bob Iger, the CEO of its parent Disney, was quick to suspend the show indefinitely. On Thursday, Sinclair Broadcasting, a rival uh, local TV giant with a conservative bent, upped the ante even further, saying ABC's suspension of Jimmy Kimmel was insufficient and announced it will yank uh, Jimmy Kimmel Live from its stations until the host apologizes directly to Kirk's family and donates to his political activist group. The backdrop to all of this, Carr, a longtime telecom lawyer who is also the new sheriff of the broadcast industry, Carr, has been warning networks large and small that he's taking one of the most expansionary views of the agency's regulatory edict to make sure programming is in the public interest. First, First Amendment concerns be damned. His impact has been nothing short dramatic. Paramount settled the suit with President Trump over CBS's controversial interview with Kamala Harris during the 2024 campaign, fearing that the FCC wouldn't approve its $8 billion independent studio Skydance. Yeah, that's what it is. There's a lot more to this. Do check out the rest of the article on this. But the thing about it is, you have to understand there are those out there that will continue to say, "Oh, this is a freedom of speech issue. This will be a free." He was kicked off the air because of what he said. Colbert was kicked off for the same reason. Ratings are down. They were losing money. Jimmy and I said this when it happened. I'm expecting Jimmy Kimmel to be next, and I was right on the button. Jimmy Kimmel is not the same Jimmy Kimmel from the Man Show. Even though that is brought up a lot of times that is brought up that basically you have that yeah, his Man Show, you had beer drinking, blackface, uh girls with large breastises, jumping on trampolines, and some insane bits that they've done, with Adam Carolla for many, for that term. It is. I mean, it was a good show. It was I'll admit to that. There back then that Jimmy was Jimmy then. Something happened, and I think it happened toward when Trump became president for the first time, that he just literally, I don't know what it was, and I keep saying this a lot of the times. All these people used to kiss his ring, and I'm talking about Trump. They used to kiss his ring, kiss his ass, ask for money all the time. He ran for politics. They just like started to hate him. I wonder why. I wonder why to that point. Because I think because he knows the business. He knows the money. It's the same way, that Chappelle joke that basically keeps going around, that, he's saying that basically he said, "Oh, you took advantage of the tax code and stuff like that." Yes, of course I took advantage of it, because everybody else has, you could have done something, when you were in office. You could have changed it, but that would affect the people that supported you. And that's the truth. There are things out there that basically you have to begin to understand. I grew up, being in New York City, grew up uh, during the late '60s, '70s, and the Trump when Trump came in, his family and all that. There was a lot of stuff that was built because of them. There was a lot of things fixed up because of them. Are they a perfect citizen? No, nobody is. Nobody is. And you know, you look into what he's done and the things that he's done for people, because he has helped people. All this stuff that he says, well, he's prejudiced and this and that, ask a lot of his friends and they'll tell you. And I'm talking about people that are not rich, right? And that that he's still friends with, and they say, no, he's to talk to some of his workers, and they say, no, he's the nicest guy ever. Very demanding, but a very nice guy. But getting back to the Kimmel situation, a lot of these companies, these broadcast companies, are right now that they are at the point where if they want to move on, they need to do their job right. They need to sit there and say, "Yeah, uh, I know we have people on our network that are basically talking, as my brother used to say, they're talking nyanyas. In other words, that they're talking bullshit, and some things that shouldn't be said, some things that are false, insulting people the way that they're doing. If they want to move on, they want to expand their business, they're going to have to sit and start cleaning house." To the point. Is the View next? I don't know. It's hard to say. But I'll tell you this for a perfect example. Late night is almost over. Late night television, unless somebody comes in that's really good and that basically, to the point that that will go back to the Johnny Carson days. Because that's what we need. We need a Johnny Carson type. Because that's what it was. I mean, Johnny himself had said, there's an interview out there, um, an old interview that, and I've shown it on this channel, that basically Johnny says, when it comes to politics, you don't do that on this show, because it gets to the point where it becomes a platform for you, and then from there, you can influence people onto that. And that's not the job of the late night host. Job of the late night host is to entertain. Go back and look at any Johnny Carson show, which you can right now on Pluto TV. I think Tubi has it, Roku has it. You could find it out there. I think some of them you could find out right here on YouTube. And basically, look at what he talks about. Look at how he commands the show itself. He'll sit there and have fun, and sometimes his guests will sometimes command the show. "Hey, PB, how you doing in there?" Let's see. Let me put this up on here. Let's see. PB says, these people point to two things, saying Trump is racist, the discriminations get black tenants, but it was his father, not him. It was all before Donald got into the into the real estate business. Yeah, you're right about that, but it's to the period when I was growing up. You know, it was hard to get a proper house. I mean, we were there's still railroad car apartments. I don't know if you know what a railroad car apartment is. We still have them here in New York. And what I mean by railroad car apartment is literally is an apartment that's built like a railroad road. It's room to room to room. It goes one after the other after the other. It's not set up whereas for example, you walk in, it's a kitchen, it's a living room, it's a bedroom. You could set it up to any way. I mean, the kitchens are normally the kitchens as you walk in, but going into the next room, it could be a bedroom, it could be a dining room, it could be the next one could be the bedroom dining room, it could be the living room, it could be whatever it wants to be. But they were tight. They were tight. And you got to remember, it was me, my brother, my mother, my father, and then because my family were superintendents, we did have a second apartment similar to the other one. So basically, we had at least a little bit more room, but most people, it was a tight space. To this day, certain family members of mine still live in the same building, and they're living in a tight space. You see the videos out online that basically where they're like the real tiny that has no bathroom and all that. Yeah, this has a bathroom, but yeah, those are tinier. But this was tight for the time period for the 1970s to that point on there. What is that? Let's see. The trying to figure out what he's trying to say here. Give me a second here. Here we go. Two Central Park 5 case. They confessed, so we thought they were all guilty, and all of us in New York City, full page ad on top. Okay, PB, I'm going to tell you something, and this is coming from a New Yorker that basically, that if you're in New York, you know what really happened. Did these guys do the deed? Hard to say to that point. But the other point is, and remember, their case is not dismissed. It was set aside and they were released. They are still not, they haven't been vindicted. They keep saying vindicted no, they haven't been vindicted. For the reason is there were a lot of guys in that park that night that were doing some things that were not good. And basically, you look at to the point that most of these guys are guilty of something one way or another. And as far as the courts go, it was hard to distinguish who did what without witnesses because mostly a lot, to the point there were other people and they don't talk about the other people that were attacked that night who did point out some of these guys. There were people there was a guy attacked with a baseball bat that night. And there were other people attacked throughout that park. That's why there was like, when they say wilding, it wasn't because of the assault, the sex assault. It was because they were attacked. There were many people being attacked that night by a big group of young people. And PB says every person in New York City, we all thought that they were guilty. Can't judge past the present. Trump wasn't racist. Like I said, it's how it was put. And I don't know. People might get mad what I say, but you got to look at all the evidence in itself. Look at the trials in itself, because basically those are the things that are not put out there. It's the same thing that happened with the Tawana Brawley case. If you're not familiar with Tawana Brawley was a girl who was supposedly sexually assaulted in New York City. It drove into a massive protest run by Al Sharpton and many others. And what happened was that basically she lied. It was because she wanted to hang out with a particular boy that basically she was told she couldn't hang with, and she was out late, and she made up this whole story. To this day, she's still paying. She's a nurse, and I forgot what state she's in now. She's still paying off what she owes. Someone committed self-deleted themselves because of this case. So you have to put to the perspective, what is the reality to the case. PB puts up they confess they were to commit the crimes what which they admitted assault and robbery, but the cops forced them to false. It depends on how you put to the point, PB. Was there some finagling in the police department at the time? It's hard to say. And like I said, it's hard to say what that they confessed to. They confessed it to violent crimes, but when it came down to the assault of the woman, that's something else, to that point. Let's see, put up on there. My point is I'm from the NYC. Last year, high school, we thought they were guilty because they confessed and that they were on the school night to do crimes, which they did, just not that crime. Yeah. Well, we honestly, we don't know to that point. There was a lot because of all this bullshit that went on to this point, you know, maybe one, maybe two, maybe not, not all of them did it, but something, there was certain documentaries that came out that said, well, it was pointing to one particular one of them because he supposedly he was the same one because of the attack on the gentleman with the bat. Supposedly on that because they supposedly that bat was there as well because of all the from all the evidence taking that they did. But like I said, that's the past. Whatever it's gone. Whatever to the reservation. But I've always said, let the evidence taking go on. To the point. Don't jump to conclusions. To that point. Same thing. That's what happened here. They're saying, "Oh, they did it because of freedom of speech and stuff like that." Late night is dying, and as I said again, take it to whatever you want. Is most of these companies are changing out. Nexstar has bought out the CW. Supposedly, the CW is probably most likely going to be a sports network. Excuse me, because of all the sports that they're buying into it, mostly college. If you notice the amount of shows, the most popularity to the CW is daytime shows, repeats, and basically all those reality shows that they toss on, Judge Judy and all that they toss on in the afternoon. It's like the soap opera days. Soap operas used to be the big thing back in the day on the networks. Not anymore now, even though they're trying to push back into it to that. But here, what we got is that the network, the ABC, Disney, Nexstar, and I forgot what the other company, they're looking at, you know, they're basically they're looking at what is on the pages of their accounting books. Am I going to make money on this? Am I not going to make money? They're going to kill me onto the situation. It's very easy for someone to, they're going to say, well, let's boycott them because they took off Jimmy Kimmel. They're going to boycott on there because if they don't, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. They're going to look at what the cost is, what in the end, what's going to happen. Am I going to get that network? You know, if I don't do the right thing, no, that's what's going to happen to that point. And it's insane. Now, who's next? Who's next on the line? Is it Seth Meyers or is it the Tonight Show? Is one of the others next on there? And what's going to replace all these? That's the thing. I talked on the show one of the episodes when CBS canceled Colbert, that they should bring back the old CBS Crime Time and Prime Time. For those of you who do not know that, uh, it's basically they used to have the Pat Sajak show. Yes, Pat Sajak had his own late night show, and Pat basically it was a bomb. It literally, I mean, he had good guests on Situation. He bombed as fast as Chevy Chase did, and yeah, and Chevy Chase had his own show too. Basically, uh, his show got canceled. So CBS, in their thought mind at that time period, this was the '90s, says, "What can we replace it with right now? Can we do repeats or something like that?" And someone suggested, let's buy some shows, some risque shows, and show them on late night. There and then you had some great shows, stuff like Forever Night and Silk Stockings. For those of you, fans of Silk Stockings, don't realize that CBS is the one that launched the Silk Stockings into the atmosphere. It was them showing that. They said, "Well, how can they show it? Because this was regular broadcast television." Yeah, because it was shown at late night. That's why, and it did very well for itself to the point that USA Network saw it and said, "Hey, let's get this and show it on our network." And the rest is history. And let me just take this off here. Remove source. Okay. Um, it's and the thought pattern is that basically maybe we might be able to jumpstart another broadcast television renaissance again before broadcast television dies out. I've said broadcast television's got maybe 25 years left in existence, maybe 30. Depends on a was it ASTC 3.0, which are having their issues right now. That basically it's to the point that um, you're going to have to buy more expensive machines to get that instead of getting that standard antenna that everyone's always used to on there. And it's become a nightmare. I mean, even Me TV has sat down and says, this is the wrong thing to do because they're about to shut down 1.0, to that point. PB, let's see. I grew up on Carson. All I've known late night TV done by the best whoever did it. What's going to replace it? I remember when 2020 started to track the embassy hostages. Hey, remember Nightline was also the big thing too. Remember Nightline came out of that era. At the beginning, toward when CNN was just starting, late night the late night wars were just beginning up on there. And it's to the point that, like I said, Carson was the best. He was the best at it. Letterman behind there, also on there, Conan O'Brien, and there's a couple others in there in between that you could say on there. But Carson knew how to do it. I mean, I remember, and I showed a little bit of it, and you could find this on YouTube. Type in, Frank Sinatra on Johnny Carson. And hold on 1 minute here. I just want to. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, Sinatra on Carson. And what happened is, and it was the funniest thing ever, that basically you had here's Sinatra sitting down on there. Who walks in on there? Oops, we just lost something. I think I lost the signal. Okay. Don Rickles. Don Rickles shows up, comes in, and basically just takes over the entire show from that point. I mean, literally, I think one of the funniest things is that he ends up kissing Sinatra and sort of like giving the kiss of death to Sinatra. He goes, he hit this whole thing. He says a couple of things. Hey, Death Angels, get in here. I sent you a link. Get in here, boy. Can you get in here? Because I had something I wanted to talk to you about because there was something that happened yesterday at Universal. I don't know if you heard that yet. Hold on, let me just pull this up. Yeah, you should have Death Angels. You should have it in the Discord chat on your Discord page. You should have the link to there. But yeah, the Sinatra thing. If you haven't seen it, it's funny. There's another one, Burt Reynolds, also very funny to that point. And this is guys just sitting back and talking. That's all it is all the time. Yeah, I'm coming. Just finished lunch. Okay. Okay, I'm waiting for you. Um, it's basically, it's talking. I mean, I was doing this in the 1980s. I don't know, PB, you said you're from New York. You know public access. I don't know if you were in New York City or Manhattan Cable TV. If you remember those shows, Tom F. Hale also. I don't know if you knew the shows back then on channel C, D, and J back in the day. I don't know if you know those shows and stuff like that, and how it was we just sit back and talk, take phone calls and stuff like that. I mean, Johnny didn't take calls, but he talked. Didn't talk politics, and so he talked. Hey, listen, what you doing? You got married again. It's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Are you happy? To that point, he goes like, yeah, remember that movie? You were in that movie, and this happened. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all it was. And then you had the animal things. You had the small bits. The singing. Um, I'm trying. One of the best singers on there was I'm trying to remember her name, but she was in Little Shop of Horrors, the Broadway musical, and the movie version, and she was getting her start out at that time, and she got on Johnny Carson. A lot of people owe including Jay Leno, which he eventually took over the show, owe their careers to Johnny Carson. Can you say that to Jimmy Fallon? Can you say that to Colbert? Any to that nature? No. Well, before we go any further, bring it to the stage right now is Death Angel Shadows. Hey,
Hey,
nobody
I
getting
gotta
my
eat, man. No.
huh?
I was like, "Oh, man, I'm trying to eat."
I
I
said
was
this. I
cooking
said
too.
this hours ago.
I know, I was well, I do work
Cam
and
just got to me a little while ago and he said, I can't make it. This time of the night ain't
uh,
good for me. It's
yeah,
like,
typical Cam. No. Love you, Cam, serious.
yeah, yeah. Hang on one second. PB says, grew up in Queens, but we were jealous of Manhattan Cable TV. Yeah, but you had another, I forgot what the name of the cable company was, Q-Link or whatever it was there. You did have one because we did business with the one in Queens also. So you did have some sort of public access, not like Manhattan. We're talking about cable TV to that
Yeah,
point. But the one thing I already talked about this. I don't know if you heard there was a death at Epic
I
Universe.
I did, and I actually posted it on, Jason added a "Things not sci-fi, fantasy, horror related."
Oh,
He created a new on the Sci-Fi for Me TV Discord. He created a new thing that's for the Outside the Wheelhouse group, and I saw this last night actually while we were still doing the Babylon 5 discussion, and
yeah.
I
Well,
posted it
now
on
we're
the
hearing that he got banged around.
3:04 in the morning is when I posted the
Yes.
link. So
Yeah. No. WD Pro had out that basically um was the was it the Sky Chaser? What is it called? The Sky Chasers?
it was called, let's see, Stardust Racers.
Stardust Racers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that basically got banged around. That sounds like he wasn't harnessed correctly,
That's possible.
or the
Or
harness broke.
or he was, we don't know.
Yeah.
Look,
No,
I
we
I
don't.
used to work I used to work at Universal. So,
Hmm.
yeah, uh, I could see that. There's some attractions that I would not fit on. When they opened Potter when I was there.
Oh, Potter, I can't go on. I got
So
Potter, I
so
can't go on. I can't go on, Hagrid's.
they
Definitely.
totally misguessed their typical guest that would wanna go onto that. They were assuming it was gonna be like, 12-year-olds or something like that, and I hate to say this, but there's a lot of people that are bigger than me that really
No.
love Potter.
Well, no, no, no. No, no. How long ago did Harry Potter came out?
Well, I mean, this was probably, what, '08 or something like that when I worked.
Okay.
I mean, I've
08.
been with, yeah, something
We're
like
in
that.
2025. That '08 kid ain't a kid anymore.
Well, true, true. Um,
Most of these people,
but even
like
back
maybe
then, like, I'm like, I couldn't ride the ride. Now I've been inside of it. I'm talking about the one that was it was the latest whiz bang thing at the time, and because it was, kind of like a motion simulator, but on a track. Kind of similar to the way Spider-Man worked, but with more robotic movements. And
Mm.
if you saw like the big the big area that they have, like where the maintenance bay comes into it, you could
Mhm.
see where where the cars had hit the wall when when they were still trying to get the robots
Oh god.
fine-tuned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's you know, you
Which
look
they
at all the
did, but
yeah, you look at all the right. I mean, the last time I was God, let's see, it was the '90s was the last time I was in Universal. That's how long ago. I mean, we were still
in
like
Florida,
in
the one
Florida because that's
yeah,
I had moved back in the 2000 era
right,
to New York because I was down there because I was down there for work for production work. I was
yeah.
working at two different studios down there, and I came back and and everything started to change. I mean, because they talk about the Jimmy Neutron ride. And da, da, da. I said, I remember when that was Hanna Barbera.
Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember when it was Hanna-Barbera. I mean, it was Jimmy Neutron, and it was aging at that point.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
they still had, Nickelodeon Studios was still actively in use. I think, what was it, Double Dare or whatever was still being filmed at the time. Now that's where the Blue Man Group eventually took over. I don't even know if the Blue Man Group is still there. I'm in my 50s as well, PB, so, I got to be one of the first people to ride the Transformers ride. Um,
Yeah, there was no transform. We
nope.
had was it? I think that we were in
I
the
was there when
beginnings
they built
of
it. I worked there when they built it.
Terminator. I think that was the last thing. It's like Terminator. We still had Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and of
Um,
course, Ghostbusters, and they built Twister, and
Twister.
and then
Uh,
they had,
Earthquake.
Rip Ride Rocket was done where they kinda went through the old Ghostbusters building, and of course,
Mm.
Rip Ride Rocket,
I
it was
love Back to
great.
the Future.
You
Back
know,
to the Future
there
was
was a
my ride.
hack for that ride, for the Rip Ride Rocket,
Yeah,
where
really?
you could get to a hidden playlist. If you knew the correct combination on the pad, because you could pick your music, right? You could pick what
Right.
song you wanted to hear, but it was a very, like, limited list. But if you wanted to, like, hear Metallica or something like that, there was a hidden menu that you could activate, and then you could get, like, Enter Sandman or, something like that. Some of the stuff that wasn't on the official list.
Mm.
You had to Google. I don't know if they finally took that ride down or not.
I don't know.
Um,
I know they took everything up.
Used to scare the hell out of me,
Back to the
though.
Future became Sims. Back to the Future became Simpsons. I think
Yep,
the only
that's
thing left
all
is
that stuff
really is
happened when I was
E.T.
the working there, and
E.T.
and that was right before Disney acquired Fox. They
Right.
literally had just opened up, they built this whole they redid the whole renovation because Back to the Future became, the Simpsons ride, and, then that whole area, around it became all Simpsons themed,
Right.
and, of course, they still had Marvel, and then Disney acquired Marvel, and they still have Marvel for God only knows how. I thought it was supposed to expire in 2018, but they must have signed
No, no, it's supposed to
something.
be 27, I think now.
Okay, yeah, it may have gotten expanded. Basically,
It's extended to 2027. Who knows what's gonna happen after that?
right? They had rights east of the Mississippi, exclusive rights to use Marvel characters east of the Mississippi at that time,
Mm.
and that was an agreement that they signed with Marvel Studios before Marvel was purchased by Disney. So,
Mm, mm, mm. Mm.
and then, of course, once that happened, well, Disney wasn't allowed to use Marvel at Disney World anywhere, which, of course, they did not like because that, you know. And I always thought, and I know other people own the rights. I always thought, well, they should have just changed from Marvel to, DC or one of the other properties or something like that.
Well, who knows now because
Right?
Warner might be under Skydance soon, the
Yeah.
way things are going now. I mean, I have a video coming out next week about that, and it's insane because
But
I
you,
mean, where are the regulators on this? I mean, we're
you,
getting to the point where
yeah.
it's down to you got Disney, and then you got whatever Paramount, Warner, and
What, and didn't Amazon buy, one of the
MGM,
studios?
MGM, I believe.
Yeah, which is funny because uh, I still call the studios at Disney, I still call it MGM.
Yeah, and the other
Even
one is
though
It's Sony.
they long ago dropped the MGM
Yeah,
name, but
yeah. So it's Sony, Skydance, Amazon. Amazon you wouldn't really put in there, and Disney.
yeah,
Everybody else is all small. Everybody else is all small studios.
right. Well, and, it's kinda
And I
y
kind of pissed off some of my viewers out there because I had put the video that came out. This week? They had said Adult Swim and Cartoon Network is going to be spinned off to their own corporate company, which basically, oh, yeah,
uh,
fake news. No, it was going to happen. Now, is
yeah,
it still going to happen? We don't know. But the thing about it is, even if Skydance takes over, they're going to shed their skin to get rid of a lot of the stuff.
yeah,
And CNN, Cartoon Network, all those TV, TNC, TBS, they're
mhm.
all going to be shedded away because they don't make money.
But you know what else Warner Brothers has the rights to?
A lot of movies.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, that too.
So, that was an agreement that Universal, struck with Warner Brothers to be able to bring Potter to the park, and J.K. Rowling was very, very picky. They would not sell any sodas, no Coke products, which I think was what was we sold in the park was Coke products. They wouldn't allow any Coke products or anything like that to be sold in any of the Potter areas.
Yeah, I know. I remember hearing that. I
Um,
remember hearing that.
even so far as in the break room for the rides, where the break rooms were, uh, uh, backstage,
Mhm.
they had pear cider that you could get, which you could get on tap in at Three Broomsticks, which is really good, by the way. If you don't like the sickening sweet uh, butterbeer, and butterbeer's better frozen.
Mhm.
It's very sickening sweet. It's like
Yeah,
syrupy.
I heard it that it just
Frozen,
gets
it's
insane.
okay, but I mean, I tried it once because I had to, right?
Is it good with
But
liquor?
so here's the thing: when they open, so the was it the Hogs was it Hogsmeade or
Hogsmeade?
Hogs? Yeah.
Hogsmeade.
So Hogsmeade is a bar, and of course, the bar is attached right to Three Broomsticks. So there's like no separation area. This is kind of like a little area where you walk through a dining area and then you walk into the bar, but it's kind of like right there. It's in the same building, open area, right? And at first, the bartenders were selling them. They would upsell a shot and put a shot in butterbeer.
Oh my god.
Somebody said something about it, and they weren't allowed to do that. They had to sell them separately now. They had so they could because they had
Ah,
so they had to sell butterbeer and sell you a shot.
body pooper.
And then what you did with it was up to you. But they
Mhm.
wouldn't let then the bar at that point the bartenders. But
Mm.
opening day and for the first week or so, yeah. Yeah,
Ye
yeah, the bartenders would put a shot in.
mm,
Yep.
mm-mm.
Yeah, it was great.
PB. Yeah, it wouldn't trigger the Clinton Antitrust Act, but it doesn't mean that it won't be questioned. To the point, because listen, you got Disney who ended up getting Fox in the whole situation, and they have Marvel, and they have those entities.
And
You got
ESPN.
Sony who got Crunchyroll with Funimations and come out, and nobody questioned that to that point. You get Skydance, they started to question somewhat, with the Paramount deal on there, but now you got Paramount Warner Skydance. Somebody's going to ask for to look into this.
Well, the thing is that Disney had always been the 800-pound gorilla. They got whatever they wanted.
Yes, I
And
know.
even so far as, we can go back with what past couple of years, with all the everybody just assumed that Reedy Creek was owned by and under the direct control of Disney. That was
Yeah.
everybody there knew if you worked for the Reedy Creek Improvement District, you were a Disney employee as far as anybody was concerned. I mean, I knew people that worked at RCID. I've been to some of the places when I was doing IT stuff at RCID places. So, I wasn't a cast member, I was, contractor, but still, that was the type of stuff that we did. Um, so yeah, when that whole thing, I was like, really?
Yeah, but the people that lived in Reedy Creek were just like 7 or 8
Yeah, like maybe it
campers.
doesn't
That's all
doesn't
it
does
was. It wasn't
well,
even houses.
there was a
It was just
couple, yeah, most of them are trailers. They were
trailers. They were all
trailers, yeah.
trailers.
They were
They
like,
didn't
yeah.
build any houses there.
Nope.
They were supposed to build houses. That was the whole deal with
Yep.
Reedy Creek. They were supposed to build homes,
Right.
and they didn't. I mean,
Yeah,
you
and
had,
they
I
got away
forgot the
with
name.
murder for so many years.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
not
forgot the
literal
name of the
murder, but
company that's out there, and I was looking to get a home there before I got this place.
well, they
Uh,
Disney built Celebration.
well, not only
And
Celebration, you have that whole, retirement community.
oh, the
Um,
Villages?
thank you, the Villages,
Yeah, they didn't build
how
that.
enormous that is now.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna be building a separate entity for the workers that work in the villages.
I have a ham radio buddy of mine that he's got a little YouTube channel. He's kinda cool. He just
Yeah.
moved from Oregon to the Villages, and now he's trying to figure out how to put up an antenna there.
Oh, good luck with
'Cause
the HOA.
yeah, yeah, and I'm
Good
like,
luck with the
"Well, this
HOA
is
there.
what I would suggest."
Yeah,
I
but
hate
the
HOAs.
H well, no, I have
Uh,
an HOA here where
yeah,
I'm at here, and the HOA here, they're pretty good so far. The
yeah,
the management company has been working. I just have a couple of nut jobs in the building that just basically
Karens.
that they well, no, they're the ones who are behind in the fee, the HOA fees.
Oh,
They owe I mean, when I got here, oh
would you
god, it was astronomical, the number, but
yeah,
the the thing was they had switched management company, and this management company was really good. They got into, uh, they started suing the people that owe money, and they
right,
started collecting back, started cleaning up the building and all that. I mean, I got here, the building was really good to the point.
yeah.
And, there was a couple little minor like when we got here, the elevator would break down, like, at least once every other week. But that's
That's a
because of the
yeah.
contract that basically they had. They
Not because
hired a new
we were
new
on the 3rd
contractor, now
floor,
it hasn't broken down in a long time.
dropped a something that was explosive in the down the elevator, like in, you know,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about, right?
yeah.
Sheldon and yeah,
Sheldon and all them
yeah.
on there.
The elevator was broken the whole time,
Yeah,
the whole show.
yeah.
Um,
What's PB saying? Question, absolutely yes, but Clayton antitrust, not even close by the letter of the law. What caught my eye is this: Ellison supposedly is ready to offer all cash. Yeah, he is re where are they getting their money? Jesus
that's the
Christ.
big question,
That they
yeah.
just dropped, what was it? How much they dropped for Paramount? It was like 8 billion they dropped for Paramount. And meanwhile, Warner is gonna cost them another $70 billion.
Well, don't they have to disclose that, don't they?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
all gotta
obviously.
be to the government, for
Yeah,
'cause these are
obviously to the
stock traded
regulators.
companies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly. But
which
I mean,
reminds me.
they I mean, wait, holy crap. You
What
know?
was it what was it that
If Ellison's ready to offer cash, it means he's capable of a hostile takeover as well. Hest wants Warner the nice way or the bad way, raises my eye. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
see,
it'd be
the thing
nice if
about
they
it is
kept the
see, the
names,
thing
though.
about it is, PB and Death Angel,
Mhm.
um,
You can call me Death.
Netflix could be Netflix, Amazon, and Sony and Apple could bid into this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Ellison is trying to get ahead of before before those companies jump in. And if anyone that could get Warner would be Netflix right at this point.
Yeah.
Imagine Netflix, Warner studios on there, and Netflix is building studios on the East Coast. They're building one right across from me on the river. There are
Oh,
two
yeah?
studios going up. One is Lionsgate, the other one is Netflix. And
Well, who
Netflix has 8
didn't Amazon doesn't
productions
Amazon
right
own
now running in
Lionsgate?
New Jersey.
I thought Amazon bought Lionsgate.
No, they're on their
There's
no, I think they're
are
on their
they?
own. I think they're on their own. I
I'll have
think
to
they're on
check
their own.
that out. Hmm.
I have to look that up. But the thing about it is, it's I got studios being built left and right here in New York and in New Jersey. Is it Lionsgate?
Lionsgate is a publicly traded Canadian American internet. I'm reading the AI overlord thing.
Ah, okay, this is not Amazon.
They own Stars, blah, 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 blah.
Yes, yeah, 'cause they own Stars and all that.
Institutional shareholders primarily own, you know what that means? BlackRock
What's that?
and Vanguard and
Oh,
yeah,
BlackRock,
those type
Vanguard.
of
Yeah. My wife has, her company that she works with, she has money in
yeah.
Vanguard.
Does her company is her company partially owned by BlackRock or Vanguard? I wouldn't be surprised.
No, it's a particular it's one particular department store chain that basically is doing better than everybody else.
Oh, that's good.
That literally that even with the
Mhm.
tariffs, it ain't gonna hurt them. It's not gonna hurt them at all. They've been making money hand over fist.
Mm,
And they're not just one company. They're like, how many are there? They're like
so
3 or 4
Amazon
companies,
bought MGM.
3 or 4 department stores.
So
Mhm. Yeah. Yes, I yeah, oh, let me bring this up.
see, Jason would know the stuff off the
Uh,
top of his head.
yeah. Yes, I agree on that. And Netflix, Apple, or Amazon don't even raise the antitrust questions at all. There's a lot of moving parts here. Yeah, there are. Like I said, I would prefer seeing Netflix get it.
I'm
And
not
the
a
reason
ant.
is
I
because that would make them a powerhouse
the
against
others, yeah.
the old
Yeah,
the old guard.
and that's not bad.
That would just literally
I
scare the
I just
shit out of
I'm
everybody
not an
else
Apple
in Hollywood.
fan, and I mean, I buy stuff off of Amazon,
Apple's
but
not gonna be in this business too much
they
longer.
need to spin that off. They they
Apple,
they they need to focus on their
no, no, it's not the
products.
spinoff. What Apple is gonna do, and I guarantee you, they're gonna stop making productions. What they're gonna do is they're gonna buy them.
Go
They're
back
just
to what
literally
it
just gonna
was
they're just
before
gonna
the whole
yeah,
streaming wars.
they're just gonna buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just gonna buy the shows, buy the movies. That's it. End of story. They don't have to worry about having their own
It's
studio
like I
productions
really
or
wanna
anything like
see
that.
Neuromancer, and if anybody knows my nick that I've been using since the BBS days, if I'm dating myself here, Death Angel Shadow is actually from Neuromancer, the video game. So it's one of the that's where the origin. My buddy, one of my best buddies in high school, also was a user on my BBS. He went by Count Zero, one of the books, obviously from Neuromancer characters. You know, so I really want to see the show, but I hate Apple. I cannot stand. I won't.
I can't stand it. I got rid of my Apple phones. I still have an Apple tablet.
Yeah,
I got a current
the only
like
ironic here's irony for you. The only Apple product I've ever had was was a company phone when I worked for Universal, and it broke
hmm.
in like 3 days after I got it.
See here, PB confirms it. Apple buys its own shows now. They barely self-produce
Yeah.
what's on Apple. Yeah,
Oth
exactly. That they can't one, they can't compete with it. Two, they can't afford it because they're pumping everything
yeah.
into technology.
Oh, but they're
And
gonna buy
for them
Disney,
to
don't
start
you know?
putting
Didn't
money
you hear
aside,
that? Remember those rumors? Yeah, I didn't think
not
so
going
either.
to happen. It ain't gonna happen. It would take a lot for Disney for someone to end up buying Disney. And the thing about it is, the regulators will be on that
Oh,
like
yeah.
freaking jelly
I
on
mean,
toast. That would be anybody coming in, and even if it's Netflix, there are going to be jelly on toast on the
see
regulators on this. This is not going to be
see,
an easy buy.
Disney when Disney bought, ABC and ESPN, um, I remember that. I think I was a contractor at Disney one of those times too, or right after it happened. Because I remember seeing all the email crap from, that we used to have to when we were trying to merge the ABC and, ABC News email or the ABC.com email addresses, along with the Disney.com email addresses. Plus, we still had this was the Lake Buena Vista location, and then they also had the Burbank and the, you know, just different universes that
Right.
had to kind of mesh together. But I don't know. That kind of caught some people's eye, but they let it happen. I think that's why they let Comcast and the NBC Universal thing happen.
I'm
when it
surprised
did.
Comcast didn't get Hulu. I'm shocked that they did not decide to do it.
I think they wanted to leave. So what happened is they had a third, right? It was a third, a
Right.
third, a third. Disney had a third, Universal, Comcast had a third, and then, the other third was Fox.
Mhm.
So when Disney acquired Fox, they got 2/3, and it was at that point that Comcast said, "Well, we have a right to force it." Which they, by the way, did with, when they bought, Universal. When Comcast acquired Universal, there was a part, of it that was still owned by Blackstone, I think was the name of the
Right.
company, that owned part of Universal Studios Orlando or whatever it was. That there was like USO is what it was, I think, called. They changed the name a couple of times, but at any rate, they owned a part of the company, and Blackstone, I think, is the one that actually forced it and said, "You have to buy us out. We're forcing it. We're forcing you to buy us out or not." But so that's how they became the wholly owned subsidiary. But when it went to Disney owning 2/3, well, hey buddy, Hulu was your thing. And for that I kind of knew that partnership was not going to last forever. There was no way it could, you know, um, because of the acquisitions. How much
Yeah,
gold
the
crust
Beats.
latinum was
Yeah,
there?
the Apple Apple hasn't been since Apple hasn't made any new products except the iWatch, and they bought Beats by Dr. Dre. Let me tell you something about Beats, PB. I sold them back my retail my last retail job. I'll tell you honestly,
Any
no
good?
offense, they're a piece of shit.
You could go buy better products for less money.
Even for more, let's put it this way: I used to sell bows back when I was down in Florida at Burdines. You know Burdines.
I remember Burdines.
You
Yeah,
remember
my
Burdines?
mom used to shop at
I used to
Burdines
work
all the time.
yeah, I used to work for Burdines in electronics,
Mm,
and basically, you know, I used to be the Bose salesman for Burdines,
okay.
and I there were Bose made better headphones
Hmm.
that were 100 times better than Dr. Dre's. All Dr. Dre's were cheap basic headsets that, they overcharged because of his name,
Yep. Well, that's a lot of things.
you
When
know,
you go back
and
and look at
especially with the, how can I put it? The with the, I can say it, the, bass was just jacked, on on those headsets. I used to get people returning them on a constant basis.
because everything sounded too muffled or too muddy.
Well, not too muffled, it would break down.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were crap.
yeah.
They would return them immediately. It was just like Christmas time, we would
Where were
sell a
they
ton of
made?
them.
China,
I'm trying to remember, were they made in China?
probably.
Yeah, yeah. Of
Uh,
course, I'm gonna mute myself for just a minute. I tell my wife, "Honey, I'm going on live at 6 o'clock." I guess she decides to call. Hold on a minute.
sure. So, what's everybody in the chat doing?
Oh,
I see
she
PB.
just realized, "Oh my god, yeah, he's live right now."
No. See, man, I was trying to take over the show and keep things going here, and.
No, I told her. She did this the last time. I said, "Honey, at 6 o'clock, I'm going live."
We got 4
Okay.
people watching. I think I'm one of
I
them.
think we were going between 4 to 7.
Have
Well,
you?
it keeps
Okay.
jumping around. For some reason, I'm not broadcasting over at Rumble. I don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
I'm sending the signal to Rumble, and it's not there.
So Beats headphones, while designed in the US, are manufactured in China.
They are manufactured? Okay, 'cause it's
Mm,
just, the design nature. I mean, I had stuff on my shelves that were cheaper, that were like 20 to $70 that sounded much better, and that
yeah.
includes Sony headsets.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing is if you really wanted quality products, especially then,
Don't
you
buy
wanted
anything
one
that's made by a rapper.
well, no. That too. Um, but no, you wanna buy products that are actually were made or manufactured in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I used to work, I'm a ham radio operator, right? I've
Yeah,
told you that many times. Um, and at one point in time, I worked in the industry. selling. So sold headphones. I sold radios, transceivers,
Mhm.
antenna towers, and antennas, and you name it, right? And there was a point in time, Kenwood. I'm sure you've heard of that name.
Oh, yeah, I sold a bunch of that.
I can tell you stories about Kenwood, the company in general. But um, there was a point at which they expanded their manufacturing and started building some certain models of these radios that we would sell in China as well as in Japan. You could tell the difference. They looked the same, but it was like you tap on, like, the heat sinks, and you could just feel that the metal was not the same quality, didn't have the same density. It was a cheaper frame. It was the plastic just was kinda off, everything was it was like kinda like well, you're in New York, right? You guys have the big problem with the knockoff products, right, up there?
Oh, yeah, we
Right?
I was just talking about it on another episode. Um, they just busted a guy with, Nintendo products.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think you mentioned that
Even the
the other day.
2.0, the new 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what these look like, but they were shipped to us from Kenwood, and there was a certain way you could tell, I think, by the serial numbers where they were manufactured, and we would get people that would come in and say, "I don't want the Chinese one, I want the Japanese one."
Mhm. Oh,
And
yeah, I used to get that, in the electronics department. Yeah, I want the one that was
s
made it wasn't made in China. If it was made in Taiwan, if it was made in, uh, I forgot the other country. Let me think.
Korea.
Malaysia. If it was
Oh,
made in
Malaysia.
Malaysia, it was okay.
Yeah.
If it made in Japan, that would be the best.
Yeah, the Japanese one was the best, and then but when they were trying to reduce cost and maybe sell the product cheaper, that's what they would do is they would
Yeah.
like, "Okay, well, we're gonna try and do this." And we got a lot of complaints, a lot of returns on the
Mhm.
Chinese ones.
See,
You know
PB says AKC, Grandio, Sennheiser, Sonio Studio Series, yeah. Beats will look crazy look with crazy bass. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. It had a ton of bass. I mean, if you wanted a headsets with a lot of bass in it, you know, just jack up the bass in your on your phone or whatever you're using to listen. You could do that yourself. It's very simple to do. AirPods is from the tech from the Beat. I didn't know that. I know they had their Beats had their own uh the AirPods type when I was selling them. And if Apple's making them from that technology, good luck, Apple.
Yeah.
Good freaking luck with that on there. It's uh, uh,
Well, and it's sad. Of course, the unfortunately, um, the Japanese were really great in the '70s and '80s and with and even to the '90s with, ramping up and doing stuff that we had and coming up with stuff
Sony
that was
Walkman.
even was better. Um, and they've gotten complacent like we got complacent. And now, I hate to say this, but some of the Chinese products now are starting to get to that level where, you know, their their versions of products are being they're offering features that people want it's like, I know it sounds silly to have that I have a video port on my radio. People would think that's
Right.
crazy to hear that, but I do.
Mm.
And it's a DVI. Now my radio is like 2 years old. Okay, I bought it brand new 2 years ago. HDMI technology has been around for a long time, and the excuse is, "Oh, well, there's licensing problems and this and that and the other." And it's like, well, okay, so HDMI, DisplayPort, whatever, it's all they use the same signals. Even the DVI has the same signals in there. It's just the connector. So it's like, why can't you use a more commonly accepted connector? And they just start peddling excuses. Another one that a lot of people want is USB-C. Why can't we have USB-C charging? Oh, well, see, and you just hear these excuses. And of course, this is the US reps that are just spinning, spinning,
Oh,
spinning,
no,
and
no,
because
no,
they
you
don't
want
really know. They
you
don't
you
know.
you want good let me read this before I'm gonna give you a good one. Bass is best when tight, not heavy rolling nonsense. Once
Right.
you hear the high quality audio, you'll never go back. Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
see, in back when I was with Bird Eins, okay, when I was working in the electronics department, the Bird Eins used to send us, in fact, about this time of the year, yeah, about this time of the year, we would go to, it's sort of like a convention. It was at the, hotel in Miami, or like a convention center in Miami. And basically, what it was like all the vendors, and this was electronics, furniture, everything in housewares.
Right.
That basically was they sent us there, and it's a whole day. In other words, that was the day that you saw. Was that, gee, why isn't there a lot of salespeople on the floor? Why do they only
Yeah.
have one person per floor,
Well,
department?
because they actually cared about salespeople now, or then,
And
but
yeah,
they don't now.
well,
I
no,
mean, have
we
you
were
walked into?
trained. But the thing
Yeah.
about it is they send us to these things and we get to meet with the manufacturers. So we would sit with Bose, we would sit with Altec Lansing and all these companies on
Right.
there, and they show us, what they're going to, give us for the season, what the specials and everything, for the home sale. Now we get over to Panasonic. Okay, we're
Right.
walking in. Now there's this guy named Ira. Ira was a nice older man. He used to work at the accounting division for the company, for the corporation, which was like I'm trying to remember the main Macy's corporation at that time. Because this was, Bird Eins was part of Macy's on there. I'm trying
Right.
to remember the original name. But he used to be an auditor for that, and he had a nervous breakdown. And then he went into came to us to work in the stores. He says, "Yeah, yeah, get out of accounting. I'll go sell electronics." Figure that one. One thing
Right.
about Ira is that he always questions everything. This is of course, he's an auditor. He's going to question everything.
Yeah.
Back then, this was the 90s. This was at the time when they had the what do they call it? The cameras. They basically, the small little mini
The
VHS
VHS-C, the
VHSCs
VHS.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and basically, you put it in, you watch a video, and you can plug it into your TV, watch it playback. Now, the big question of the day, and I laugh at this still to this day, is that Panasonic didn't put a RCA to RCA in there with the
Yeah.
whole pack. In other words, it's just like you got it. You had to go out and spend a couple of bucks on the RCA to the RCA, so you could plug it into your TV. Ira gets up and he goes like, and my manager looks at me and said, "Oh shit, here it comes." He goes, "Excuse me, could you tell me why you couldn't put a $2 cable in, um, with your camera and all that?" The head of Panasonic, no Ira, and said, "Excuse me, I'll answer that question." They went through this whole answer. Like, we're sitting there crying because it's like this guy Ira shot back about a dozen questions before this whole thing finished.
Yeah.
And literally everybody else walking out like sweating the guys from Panasonic sweating on except for the head guy. It's like, holy shit. We get into the next room and it goes, "Hey guys, like I said, oh, Ira's here."
Uh-oh.
Ira will answer your questions. Don't worry. It's like, I know you had a bit of an issue with Panasonic. It reverberated all through the whole day. And,
You know what the likely explanation is? Because there's a bigger markup on cables. You could sell them that $2 cable for $5.
no, no, actually, it cost Panasonic 50 cents.
Right. Well, yeah,
No, it
but
literally cost them 50 cents
yeah,
to put a cheap cable in there. You can go out and buy a better cable, but it
yeah,
cost them 50 cents to put a cable in.
the Munster gold-plated cables. God, I remember
Most
selling
people,
those at
if
Radio Shack.
that, believe it or not, back in the 1990s, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
The first thing out of the customer's mouth
I want
is,
a
"Does
gold.
it come with a cable so I can hook it to the TV?"
Hell yeah.
And that's what we were trying to tell. That's what we're trying to convey to Panasonic is that you got guys got to put it in. Believe it or not, a year later they started putting him in.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that was probably, what idiot forgot this? Because
So Sony's sitting there like Sony immediately they heard it and they go, Ira, don't worry, we put cables in. Don't worry, we given you everything you want.
yeah. Do you ever watch Technology Connections?
No, not really.
No? Interesting channel. Um, uh, guy, I think he's out of Chicago. Um, and he's always going, like, into deep dive. Like, these are not short videos. This is not your 10-minute video. But, yeah, he actually went through the whole VHS-C thing, and,
Mhm.
he actually this is one of his recent videos, like, within the past month or so, where he actually said what was so great about VHS-C, it was that you could get an adapter and stick it in a regular VHS player,
Yeah.
you know? And, because it was the same tape and the same head type, recording, format. It wasn't like it was Betamax or something weird,
Well, no,
and,
Betamax wasn't real. Betamax was good.
oh, no, 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 yeah, and he did a whole program on that. Betamax was better, but VHS was more, you
Well,
know
the reason why is that you had 10 VHS machines on the shelf and Sony with
Sure.
its own lonely Betamax. That's what the problem
Yeah,
was.
yeah, and they had 2 different versions of a Beta because there was the commercial version, which used a different size cartridge, I think, different size cassette.
Well, no, that
Um,
depends on which division you're talking about.
the
You
rack
have to
I'm
remember.
talking about, like, the commercial rack mount ones like you'd have in a studio,
Well,
you
no,
know?
the commercial rack ones, the you're talking about
They
Beta.
would they would play regular, but right,
Yeah,
not the other way
yeah,
around.
you're talking Betacam. Betacam was the broadcast quality on that used it, and you couldn't use certain commercial beta you couldn't use on it.
Right.
Had to be a certain way that I guess
Yeah, he
forgot
did a
what it
whole
was.
but, I mean,
Yeah,
it's fascinating, like, he's really big. He did a whole program that's, like, an hour long about dishwashers.
yeah. Those beta cams, oh god, those were because the studio I was working with down south, we used a lot of beta cam.
Yeah,
And because one of the jobs we did, because we were an editing facility, a duplication facility, mass duplication facility.
right.
And what I mean by mass duplication is that we would get big contracts. Like one of the big contracts we had was remember Tybo
Yeah,
when it came
yeah,
out on VHS?
yeah.
We were the company that put that. We were the ones that manufactured that.
All the yeah, I could probably go to, pawn shop and find some old
Yeah,
Typo
I mean
VHS
we were
still.
putting them in, and there were many. It was
Flea market.
insane. There was so many ways that we were able to put Tybo together. Like we had them singly each volume.
Mhm,
Then we had volumes 1, volume 2 together, volumes 1, 2, and 3 together.
mhm.
We had 5, I kid you not, 5 factories running 24/7 trying to get this
Just
out,
just just running
running to that.
the
A
master and
r
and
right.
and recording
Well,
it on
no,
a
not
bunch
no,
of
no, we had 2 ways we were doing this. The first way we were doing it was the old-fashioned way, Betacam or 1-inch reel, straight into about 1,000 VHS machines.
right, right.
The ones for
And
duplication.
we're not talking about your normal, like, off
No,
the
no, no.
shelf
No, no, no.
VHS machines.
No.
We're talking,
Actually,
like,
my
probably
first
racks of them.
believe it or not, the funny part is my first job was doing that. My first
Oh,
job was,
really?
I forgot the name of the company, but it was on Varick Street in Manhattan, and that's what we were using. We were using regular VHS machines. Here we are making copies of machines of, classic movies, kung fu movies, porn movies, and we had jobs with HBO through, Hemdale at that time, and Hemdale had the rights to Return of the Living Dead, the movie Salvador, and a bunch of others, and
Yeah,
we were pumping them in day and night. Now, that's the first way we were doing it. The second way, which we had in both the companies I worked in, was something called the Mirror Mother.
like a duplicator, mass duplicator.
Well, it's a mass duplicator, but what it is, it goes in 2 patterns. Mirror Mother machine is the recorder. makes a copy from whatever, like if it was a Betacam or if it was a 1-inch reel,
Right.
and it does it in reverse. In simpler terms, it's like a mirror. It makes a mirror image of the movie. Okay,
Right.
you take that and you go into a clean room. There's a machine in the clean room that basically you hook it to it on the and basically on the other side of that machine is a giant reel of VHS tape, raw VHS. In other words, it's not in the plastic container.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay,
It's on reel to reel as
it's
opposed to
real. No, it's on
it
one
well,
reel.
I mean, there's still reel to reels inside of the plastic containers, but this is
No,
on a
no,
big
oh,
reel, a
well, no, no.
big
It's just
reel.
no. The way this is, I'll explain. It's basically it's a reel. It's hooked up, looped in, and then you hit go.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is at a high speed rate, it's the mirror mother is sending the image through a device in the machine, which reverses it and makes it normal on there at a high speed rate. You will get, say, from the reel, depending on the length of the movie, say it's a 90-minute movie, you'll get 500 copies in about 15 minutes,
That's not bad.
15,
I mean,
20
for
minutes.
back then, yeah.
Okay. Then you take the reel, you take it to the other side of the room. The other side of the room is a loader. That loader, hold on a minute. My mic is starting to fall because it's slipping. The other machine, what it does is that you loop it in
Mhm.
and it loads it into the cassette.
So it
And
must
there's
have
a
some
signal,
sort of
and it
mark there must be some sort of marker
there's a
signal
signal every time
that
that
it
every time
yeah,
the movie gets to the end, it sends a signal and
that
it
this is
embeds
the
it
end.
embeds it onto the VHS on the VHS reel.
Yeah.
So when you go to the other machine, that machine picks up that signal and cuts and
Were
then ejects that.
were those, leaderless, or did they have a leader on them? Do
I'm
you
trying to
know?
remember.
Did they
This is
put it did it
this is years ago.
attach a because I remember some tapes having the leader, and then I think as time progressed, they just kinda stopped doing that
Oh,
because
no,
it
no,
was
no, yes, it did have the leader. Yes, no, no, no,
mhm.
it did
The little
have the
clear it was like
leader
the clear
in the
plastic leader
first
or whatever?
incarnation, because what happened was the leader was on the cassette itself.
Ah, okay, so you were basically it was attaching it to
It was
the leader that was
attaching it to the
already on the
leader,
spool.
and then
Yeah,
what it was, it would spool it in, go boom, 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 it kept popping out.
yeah.
Now, the major difference that you would get, like, 50 to 100, say, like, you get 50 to 100 out on there. Normally, you when I first started, the first company I started with, right out of trade school, uh, I was hired as a quality control. I would have to pop them in VCRs, check each one of them, beginning, middle, and end. In the case of this, they would bring the tub out. You would have to check only one tape. If that tape is good, the entire batch was good. So you
And
were so you were able
if
to
that tape was bad, was the whole batch bad?
the whole unit would
Had to
be
be
bad,
redone. Yeah.
had to be redone. Now, the second company I was with, and this is from the VHS version, popping in the regular VHS machines. We had an error machine where when we take them out, all this equipment was made by Sony. These were all Sony. We take the tape out, we put it on a cart, we take it over there, we reload the next one, start the next movie, and then we put it on this machine. And they're like maybe one, two, three, four, was 10. It was 10 of these, and basically we will pile them in there, and the unit would automatically run through the scanners. It would go fast forward, rewind, check the whole thing beginning to end, look for errors, and then kick it out as basically good. Like before it finished the process, it would kick off the ones that were no good. We would go back and check what's the problem with it, and basically find out what machine it came out of. So basically, that's how you know that's how it was back then.
Right.
Now with the Tybo, getting back to Tybo, the Tybo maybe more than that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen some things that said even back then in 1975, they were 1,000 to 2,500 bucks.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So
well, the early days of
Think
Even
about how much that would be today in
oh, I
today's
know,
dollars. We're
I know.
talking 5 grand or something like that for a
Yeah, yeah.
little
No, I
recording.
paid. What did my mom pay for my Betacam? She paid $450 for
Yeah,
my Betamax. She paid like 450, and that was like, what was that? It was like late 70s. I think that was very late 70s. But yeah, getting back onto the Tybo, we went through these, and we went through. I mean, we put out something like 5 million copies, and we had to get them out by a certain time.
yeah.
It
So
was
your QC
insane.
was 1 out of a batch of how many?
The machine would QC 10 at one time. The whole process, figure I had 500 VHS decks in the room.
Yeah,
I would go through. It would take about 10-15 minutes for it to QC them.
okay.
It would go fast. It would go
Yeah.
very fast onto there and take time on there. And then sometimes the machine will go down. And it's like I work the overnight shift, so sometimes when the machines go down, damn, I don't have a tech. I don't have a tech here. I have to wait till morning for the tech to get here.
Oh, that
And you're right,
sucks.
which sucked.
Then you're just sitting there spinning your
Well,
thumb.
no. If one's down, I just shut it off and bypass it.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I know how to bypass it.
But if your mother what'd you call it? A mother
Mirror Mother. Well,
mirror
no,
mother, yeah.
the Mirror Mother is something else. That the clean rooms
But
on
that
there, they
yeah.
had techs there 24/7.
Oh, okay.
The guys running the machines were techs also. So they were trained. If they go down, you know, they knew what
They
to
had to
do.
fix them. They had to get them going again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to have this girl, she was a bit ditzy, and she was trained for that. But if one machine went down, she'd be like, it's down. I couldn't fix it. It was like, oh God, you know.
Not
And she lived
mechanically
down the block for where I lived when I lived in Florida. This was in Florida, and she was down the block from me. I was like, "Oh my God," you know. She
Hope she
fit
never
it.
sees me on my way to work.
Well, actually, she gave me a ride, ride back home a couple of times. But she used to be, what was that drink? The double caffeine that had caffeine, extra
Jolt
caffeine.
Cola?
Joel. She used
Yeah.
to she used to drink the double.
Oh, Lord.
So when they took off the market,
Yeah.
she used to live on that per shift. She used to live on
I
the
never got into that.
the
Thank
1 liter,
God.
because they made them in 1 liter
Yeah.
on that. So it's like, phew. But oh yeah, check this out. I wanted to bring this up also. Let me bring this up because we were talking about Japan. Have you been paying attention to what's been going on with Demon Slayer?
I've heard it's doing really good.
Yeah. Supposedly, let me see. Let me share this.
Like Hollywood's freaking out type of good.
Oh, jeez, it didn't work out real good. But okay, it's up here. Let's
But
see.
yeah,
Maximize.
there
There
we
we
go.
go.
That's better.
That's better. Let me bring it up on my screen here because I can't see it. Okay. 84 million. And the thing about it is they haven't updated this yet.
Right.
The domestic and the international. Now they say supposedly China is supposed to be getting this movie. Then who knows on that? Supposedly the worldwide box office is over 500 at this point.
Wow, yeah, because on
This
this
is
one it's saying what, 386? Am I
yeah,
reading that right? Yeah.
386 international, worldwide 471. It's supposedly at this point it's 500.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that say? I mean, really, I mean, like I said, I think I saw the promo for this during one of the 2 times I saw Superman. I don't think I saw it in both showings, but it was on one of them, and I saw Superman, at Regal and AMC. So, I
I
don't
mean,
remember which
well,
one I
no, the
saw
thing
it
about
at,
it
but I saw the
is
promo for it, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, that looks interesting." I know people that would be really interested in that.
well, the thing about it is, think about this for a minute. They only spend about 10 to 12 million in advertisement for this movie.
Right, right,
What does that tell you? It was fans that went in on this.
right. Yeah, if they made 85,000,000 domestically at that point, that you know
Think about what Disney could have had, what Marvel could have had, what DC could have had if how much was the budget? Supposedly it's 85 million. supposedly, PB. It
for the
might be
movie?
less. I don't know if they're talking 85 million for all 3 movies or if it's just for one movie, but I'm hearing it's around 80. It's say 80, 85 supposedly. It might be less. We still haven't gotten that final number, but a couple of industry people saying it's that much. Still, they're in the black at this point. If you spent 10 to 12 million on just advertisement, you've made bank on this. And, there is talk now that this could hit 1 billion, especially if they get a China release. Because I think they're still negotiating with China.
Is this Infinity Castle? Is that what it is?
Infinity Castle. Yeah.
It
Movie one
cost
is Infinity.
it
I don't know
cost
what they're going to call the.
20 million to make,
Oh, it costs
approximately.
20 million to make. Okay, so that means 85. They put it out finally. So it was 80, 85 is the total for all 3 movies. Then.
Yeah, it's estimated 20 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've already made a profit just in the US.
No, they made a profit in Japan in the first night.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm saying
Just
that
on the first night
they
alone.
and what is it, they say how much is it that, whatever the budget is for making it, there's a formula, was it one
Yeah,
and
the
a half
formula.
times
No,
that
it's low. It's low on this
for
end. It's
for advertising?
well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's advertise. It's here it goes. 85 plus 10 to advertise. 250 million. Definitely break even. That's what he says.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
10 to advertise. It's it's insane.
Yeah.
This is what Disney and everybody else should have been doing into this point.
Well, they waste their money filming so much crap because they haven't
Exactly.
even finished deciding what the script is supposed to be. So they film all these and I don't know when they started doing this, but they started it's like, "Oh, we're just gonna film all these different ideas all at the same time because we have no cohesive idea of the general story arc that we want this to take,
Mhm.
and then we'll figure it out in post. When we're,
Yeah,
doing
and you
putting
know when the
everything
sequel's
together."
coming out to this? Because you got two more
It's
movies for
probably
this.
in the works already.
No, it's already they're almost done.
Oh, yeah.
2027 for movie 2, 2029 for movie 3.
They're staging it, they're staggering it.
They're staggering it real good.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
2
gonna they're
years
gonna
is
they're gonna
probably a
milk
good
the they're
stagger.
gonna milk this one till it's dry.
And I'm gonna guess that the 3rd movie will probably be done long before 2029.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I figure it'll be done by next year.
Yeah,
Next year or the year after.
but they don't want to saturate the market with it.
Well, no, it's they also you gotta remember, because
Absence makes the heart grow
This is
fonder.
Sony that's distributing it here in the US.
Yeah.
They're gonna milk the physical media on this.
Oh, sure. I hope so.
Figure they're gonna make. I mean, this is the big mistake Disney did this past week. They released Tron and Tron Legacy on Steelbook.
Yeah.
Amazon had to remove it from their site.
Why?
It's sold out that basically to the point where they couldn't list it.
Yeah.
Supposedly they're supposed to get a second printing hopefully by the end of the month. I was trying to get it before, what was it, a week and a half ago, and they pulled it.
Couldn't even
And then I
find
was
it.
like saying, "What's going on? Did something happen or something like that?" And then I saw a couple of the what was it? A couple of the guys that are in the business that review these things. They already got theirs, and they're saying like, "Oh, it's fantastic! It's beautifully done in
And
4K."
you're like, "Yeah, I wish I could see it."
I wish, and I said that. I said, "I wish I could see it." I think who was I saying it to? Was it Tom from Midnight's Edge?
Could be.
Oh no, no, no! It was uh Burnett,
Oh,
Robert Burnett, Robert
Robert Meyer
Burnett,
Burnett, yeah.
Robert Meyer Burnett. I
I
was
like
saying that
I
to.
like watching him.
Yeah, yep, he's
Never had
good
a
on
chance
there.
to talk to him, but I kinda like him.
Yeah, he's
I've
good.
talked to Tom before.
Tom, I was talking the other day on the chat, and was it what did BB say? U.S. staters take half, Europe takes 60%, and China takes 70% on per film unknown basis. So 95 million total spending needs 225 to 230 million to break even. 250 for sure.
Well, they're already there.
They're there.
Yeah,
Already there. They're at the 500 million mark at this point.
yeah, yeah.
This
They've
week
already made a profit,
this
and
weekend this weekend we
China will be
should.
gravy if China
Oh yeah,
lets
if
it.
they release it in China, and if it has anything to the point like what happened in Japan, because every country that this was released from the east straight on crow had to add 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. showings.
Well, they're not going to do that around here. I can guarantee you.
They were not doing it in India, and they did it.
Well, okay.
India had a 2 a.m. I was like, holy shit, I've never heard that in India. That you would go
I,
to a movie at 2 in the morning.
yeah. Hey,
Mostly
hey.
everybody's asleep at that
But
time, except for the freaking
I was there in the park for opening day of Harry Potter, and we had people still standing in line to get into the park at 3 a.m. And they made sure everybody got in and got to see Potter.
yeah.
But yeah, so but there's a and that's kind of the great thing is when um, they surprise you. When you're like taken by surprise and the popularity of something, it just takes off and surges. I I work in I'm an IT guy, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, I was spending the whole day and well into the wee hours of the night, and we all were for like the whole opening week because we didn't have enough registers to handle. We were seeing numbers flip by on these register systems that we hadn't seen in multiple stores combined in a single store, you know? And this was happening at all of because that's how the fans were for Potter. So the same thing. I can understand it. Yeah. I mean, if it's that popular, yeah. Yeah, just keep
Oh
them
yeah.
coming. Keep them
Keep them
coming.
coming. And the thing is they criticize anime like crazy. I mean, they got some good. I mean, we already got the what is it, the fall schedule coming out, and there's some really good stuff. I mean, you got the beginning of the end of My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
All right.
I know you're
What
gonna
is
convert me someday.
Yeah.
You're trying to get me into it.
Oh, there's some good stuff. There's some real. Was it Campfire Cooking in Another World, which is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a guy who gets what they call isekai. In other words, he dies and gets reincarnated into a fantasy world. And the funny part is, everybody gets these powers and some of these overpower. His power is buying stuff from Amazon. In other words, he
Okay.
has the ability to like sit there and go, yeah, let me, like he put up his hand, he could open up a little window and he buys stuff from Amazon and it magically appears in the
Yeah.
fantasy world.
Remember when Amazon just sold books?
Yes, I know. Oh no, this is not the only series. There's another series also that basically is the same thing, that the guy has the ability to it's not a cooking one. It's just literally the guy can buy anything. So he's fighting giant monsters with construction equipment.
Oh Lord.
The problem is that he can't buy gas, so he has to recreate gas from other chemicals. So like what they call the alcohol type. Trying to think on the synthahol, whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
a diesel version of it. Yeah, so it's like out there. But the campfire one, it's like he does a lot of cooking. And he has these creatures, sort of like godlike creatures that are always like on top of him. Oh, what's for dinner tonight? And then he has these goddesses, the ones that incarnated him into the air. Where's my snacks? You promised me snacks.
Jeez.
It's funny. But the other
As
thing
long
is
as
like
I don't mind foreign made films as long as I don't have to read it.
no, no. Well, most of the stuff
As
that's
long as
coming
them are
out
dubbed,
now,
I'm good
believe it
with
or
it.
not, most of the stuff that's coming out now, like Netflix and stuff like that, they're pretty much, if it doesn't come out the first week, about 2, 3 weeks later, it will be dubbed in
Yeah.
English.
Wait, well, remember Pan's Labyrinth?
Oh yeah, I know.
It
And
great
I don't
movie.
think they still haven't dubbed it.
Great movie. Great movie. Well, was it Guillermo del Toro? Didn't he
Guillermo del
make that?
Toro.
Yeah. because it's a story that's, from his native home, Spain. He's like, no, this has to be done in Spanish, and Spain
Yeah.
Spanish. We're
Oh
talking
yeah.
Castilian Spanish. We're not talking about Latin American Spanish. There's a
Well,
lot
that
of
was the same
dialects.
thing with I can't think of his name right now. But there's a movie called Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, which was a great film, and it was the starting role, the guy in Desperado. I can't think of his name right now. But basically, it was his starting role. He was very young, very, very young. But the whole movie was in Spanish, and you can guess what the movie's about. So woman goes crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a funny comedy.
it gives me a headache because the way I watch a movie, I take in everything,
Mhm.
and my ADD is, like
Oh,
bouncing
no, I
all over the
understand. No, I
screen,
understand.
and then the words are the distraction, but I need the words to understand the context of what's, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I, what was the first movie I saw like that? Uh, no, was it Kill Bill? No, 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 no. The one with the dragon and the people were flying around and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Was that
Oh,
one?
yeah, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yeah,
That
the
one gave me a
subtitles.
headache,
That
and
one
I'm
was the
like,
subtitles.
oh, that was like,
I know.
my
There's
head
some
hurt
great.
so bad just after a 2-hour movie. I'm like, oh my god,
You know what
because of
it is? It costs a lot of money to dub these films. People don't realize they think it's easy. It's like,
well, that
"Oh, I
AI
have the
is going to
script, I'll
fix
just read it
that.
in English." No, you have the phraseology, and that's the problem now, what we have with the dub versions on there is Japan has their way of thinking, how they talk,
Right.
the way their language goes, and you gotta translate, like, into English, and people says, "Well, I'll put my fix in and make it sound, Americanized." It says, "No, I don't want that." Leave it the way it is. Figure out the phonetics, the phonetics of the situation, and say it the way it should be said. This is why a lot of the older Japanese animes from the 1980s are getting remasters right now. Like Akira they already redone it. They remade the dub a long time ago. Right now, they're just finishing up. I don't know when they're going to release it. They haven't given a release date yet. Dirty Pair from the 1980s, and basically that's getting a first actually it's getting a first time English translation for the show. The OVAs are getting remastered, the English remastered proper to that point. But yeah,
Yeah.
hey, listen, if you can't handle it, you wait a bit, you'll get it in English. Most of
Yeah,
the
but
stuff is
I don't
coming in
think
English.
Pan's Labyrinth has still been
No,
dubbed.
no, no, not English. I'm talking about anime. I'm talking about
Oh,
anime,
yeah, yeah.
anime in general. The only thing is the older stuff. Like before you came in, I was talking about Galaxy Express. Crunchyroll is going to be releasing the entire 113 episodes of Galaxy Express 39. Galaxy Express is from the late 70s.
Yeah.
It was one of the best. It is one of the earliest animes that I watched when I was a kid. It is one of the best. It is the precursor to almost practically every other space anime that's out there, including
Well,
Captain Harlock, Queen Amaryllis. They just released Queen Melania on High Dive. These were precursors to stuff that were really, really good. It's a great story. It's a long story. I'm surprised the new box set doesn't have the finale movie, which was like Adieu, Galaxy Express, which that one they did an English dub on. I have that on VHS and DVD.
yeah.
And basically, they did make an English dub out of that one because it came out much later. So basically, because they needed to finish off the story. They never finished off the story of the war with the Mecha war that was going on to that. Question for PB: if Paramount buys Warner, which right now looks like likely, I but I digress. We think James Gunn will get fired immediately?
Why do people want James Gunn fired?
I don't know, but I'll tell you honestly, it depends what division is going where. See, right, like I said before, they're splitting the divisions. Warner was going to keep the studio productions. It's the broadcast productions, the sports, and all that in the news were going on and off on its own. Now, if Skydance buys it, separation, what's going to happen, who's going to get fired, who's going to get left off on the second division. We don't know that as of yet. And
Yeah.
honestly, if James Gunn goes, he has plenty of other places he can go. He can go over to Disney. He can go over, you know,
Who,
he can go,
Gun?
huh?
Gun?
Gun can go over.
Gun, they wouldn't. I don't know if Gun
They'll
would go
probably
back
take him
to
back.
Disney.
Remember there's going to be some changes coming to Disney soon. So
I'm waiting.
yeah, it's coming. So
I
I would
mean,
not be surprised on
I
that.
never thought somebody could make Michael Eisner look good. Bob Iger
Well,
did it.
Eisner's going to be out soon.
No,
He's going
Iger.
to be.
Iger's gonna be out
I mean,
soon.
Iger. I'm
Eisner's
sorry,
been out.
Iger.
Yeah.
Iger. I'm sorry,
I
Iger.
remember the Michael Eisner years, and
Yeah.
Eisner, everybody hated Eisner. They thought he was just not at the beginning. At the beginning, he was doing good, but then towards the end of his tenure, it was like, there was mold growing on the castle. Okay. He was getting so. Yes,
He
I
says
speak
English
English.
speakers don't know. English has most of the grammatical rules and structures. It has a difficult language to translate another language due to sentence structures and not the symbols. Well, PB, let me tell you something. My old manager, he was a linguistics expert. And like he told me, like, for example, Spanish has 16 different dialects. When it comes to dubbing stuff, if you get someone in there that is a linguistics expert, you can get a proper English translation. It is proper. It's just that some of these companies don't want to pay for that.
Right.
And then on top of that, the politics into the situation. For example,
Right.
over at Sony, you still have a bunch of people that are from the Funimation days. And those people have in their mind, and some people in Crunchyroll, that anime is pornography,
You know,
which is the most ridiculous thing ever.
so
Yes, there's sex in some of this stuff. Yes, there's what they call teasing and stuff like that. Yes, there's hentai, which is almost is X-rated stuff on there.
yeah. Well,
How is
what
that
people
different from what comes out of Hollywood?
most normies don't people forget cartoons didn't originate as something for children to watch. And somehow that got into the mindset, particularly here in North America, that and maybe Western Europe as well, that oh, cartoons are for kids. You know, remember Fred Flintstone selling Winstons?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what cartoons
Hey,
were not
wait till your
for
father
kids.
gets home.
Yeah,
All the stuff,
yeah,
which is like King of the Hill from the 1970s.
yeah.
Literally, it's
Well,
like King of the Hill in the 1970s, slash Happy Days.
yeah. I
But,
mean, it was if they could do stuff in animation that they couldn't do in real, with cameras.
well, the thing
Um,
about it is now I just saw a video footage, and I gotta bring it up. I gotta look for it again. They just unearthed, and they're fixing them right now. There was a time, and this is the original first anime out of Japan, was on
mm,
paper reels. You know how
how
film, you have the film reels and stuff
yeah.
like that? This was on paper.
How did they what I wonder,
It was a special way they did it. It was a
with a
special
candle
process.
and a mirror or something like that? Or
No, they
was
had a
this
machine similar to
oh,
what you would a projector in
oh,
that time period, and
I'm thinking 1600s or something like that, or,
no, no, no,
1200s or
this is like 1920s, I think, right
okay,
there,
okay,
like 1920, 1930s, and basically, you know, they showed anime. Not to what like it is today, but they had their own, the stories and stuff like that, historical events and things like that. It was not a kid's thing.
right,
People don't understand. This is a storytelling form. Whether you could tell it in a book, you tell it on a movie screen, or you tell it in a cartoon.
right.
It's just one way of telling a
It's just a
story.
different medium.
It's just a different medium, and
Yeah.
but you got people out there that just like they'll slam their hands down. Oh yeah, it is just pornography because you got you know kids and the way they look, and the SB 20, that SB 20 law that's driving everybody crazy right now. But the thing about it is, anime's got some great stuff, and it's the one major thing to it. There's something there for everyone. If you're a sports fan, if you're a cooking fan, you're
Just
an
don't make me watch soccer, please.
actually, the soccer ones from the '80s are really good.
I'm sure they are.
There's one joke where the kid slaps a girl in the face. It's hysterical. It's a meme. It's just like,
Yeah.
one day I have it in my system. If I find it, I will show it on this show. It is hysterical.
I
And
I
the kid
I'm
just
not
gets this kid just gets pissed off and just goes, "You bat!" Just smacks the shit
that
out of
yeah, yeah.
to the point because it's like a romance or something like that, and then the kid gets mad, and it's like, "Bat," I think
Yeah, they couldn't
I
show
think
that
what it was, he
nowadays.
cheated on her or something to that nature. I don't know. Something happened. I'm trying to remember what it was, but this was like one of the best soccer animes out of Brazil and South America.
Sure.
It's shown over there. They show it there like religiously next to Dragon Ball.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. But, no, there's some good I mean, what's coming out now, I like I said, My Hero Academia, which is it's finishing off its last arc story now. It's getting to the end on that. Demon Slayer, like I said, Demon Slayer, the movies, it's gonna take us till 2029 to finish that because that's the last arc also. There's one that's coming out, I can't remember the name, that basically it's about a girl and she's depressed and all this. They call it it's a Yuri, which if you know what yaoi and Yuri means, yaoi is basically male gay and Yuri is lesbian. That's
Yeah.
basically that, the stories are wrapped around that. Those are very popular overseas on
Really?
there. Oh yeah, and here too, it's a yaoi and Yuri.
Not not my
This is
shtick,
a
but whatever.
Actually, no, some of them are good.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
some of them are really, really good to the point. This one supposedly it's a horror. The girl's depressed. It's something to the nature. And what happened is that these mermaid monster shows up. And she says, "I'm here to devour you." Not in that way, but I'm here. Literally, she's going to get eaten by this creature. But he says, "Not yet. I'm waiting for you to sort of tenderize in a way." In other words, she wants to go through her
Uh,
life. But the thing about it is, she's attracting other monsters to her. So this one particular monster has to defend her.
yeah.
And they grow into a sort of a relationship, protected relationship and all that. It's supposed to be really good.
Uh, yeah.
And then there's the other one where it's about an alien. This is the third season of it, and basically this is an alien that comes to Earth in the early days of mankind, and basically he takes the different forms, and then becomes a human at one point, and he's living through the history, and he's learning about being human and it's depressing at points because he has people that come and go that die in his life. Season 3, he reaches present day. Here he is
That's
walking
pretty
out.
quick, actually, when you think about it,
Well, it is about
depending on when he
20.
came.
Well, the way they put it, they kind of skip over some things, but it's just basically and I've never read To Your Eternity. That's what it is. I think it's To Your Eternity. Um, that basically, I think the manga takes longer to get through. It's similar like there's like a couple of animes that just basically they've skipped over certain things on there, that's coming out right now. The other one is Spy X Family, which is really good. It's
I
about
love your passion. You're so passionate
oh,
about all
I
this
mean, like I
stuff,
said,
man.
well, no,
It's like I could see it being
it's
infectious.
fantastic. And the thing is
Yeah.
that there are people complaining now that there are like what they call anime tourists out there. There are guys that are like, yeah, I've watched this for years and all that. And you listen to them, and you're like, no, you haven't.
I I'm no, I can honestly say, the closest I've come to anime is, I mean, oh, what was some of the Voltron and stuff like that I watched as a kid in, in my
Voltron,
50s.
Star
Yeah.
Blazers. There's like Voltron, Star Blazers. Battle of the Planets, aka
I
Gotcha
had the blue
Man.
and red lion.
Everybody had. I had them, and I'm
I
talking
didn't
the.
have the whole thing
I
though.
had the whole thing, and it was the
Lucky.
metal one.
Oh, see, I had the plastic. Now the
No, I had
Transformers,
the metal
did
die cast.
I did have a couple of metal Transformers. Did have a couple of
Yeah,
those.
same thing with me. I had the metal Transformers. I had the metal
They need to
Voltron,
bring that back,
the
man.
die
That would be
cast.
just
They can't.
die-casts.
They
Uh,
can't. But they may be able to do it as
why can't they do
a
it?
collector. Well, they can't gear it to where they sell it in Toys R Us or something like that
Why? Well, there's a
because it's
what Toys
metal.
R Us? The
How
Toys
do
R
you know why they took it
Us.com?
off the market? Kids were throwing it at each other and freaking banging themselves in the head with them.
So?
It's metal die cast.
There's rocks outside, dude.
I know, but think of the period when these were out, and it basically they just like, "No!" I mean, you gotta remember
We had
remember
jarts. Come on.
yeah,
You know
the
what
yard
jarts
darts.
are.
Remember the yard darts? They
Yeah,
took
yeah,
yard darts
jarts.
out.
Yeah, there was a brand, one of the brands of them was jarts with a J.
Yeah,
And
and how
yes, we
dangerous are
did.
those?
Oh, not
You
at
can get
all,
that in
man.
the
What are you talking
head.
about? We
There
survived.
was an episode of
That's
freaking Venture Brothers where they did that, and the villain throws it up in the air, and he said, "Where is it gonna?" And he's like, "It stabs and kills him."
I mean, eh, yeah, that one they didn't think about too well, but we survived, and
I know, but
survival of the fittest, and that's why us Gen X people were just like,
it only takes one.
you soft kids these days.
It only takes one. That's
I
all it takes
know.
these days.
Well, we're not. That's why nobody wants to leave the house.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean,
PB, Star Blazers in the 70s. Channel 5 before
yeah,
school in the mornings. Yep.
yeah.
Star Blaze. I love Star
PB grew
Blazers.
up in New York too, huh?
Yeah, he did. Queens, he said. Um,
See,
yeah.
I see. I'm from the Chicago area, so
Yes.
I'm kind of happy right now.
So you saw I got the Gotcha Man, which is Battle of the Planets, the
Did you?
remastered one.
Yeah,
I got it on sale. It was like $150 originally. I paid 50.
yeah. I'm a
And that's like all the episodes, including the OVAs.
man.
So it's like Gotcha Man, which, like I said, the one thing about Battle of the Planets versus Gotcha Man, I don't know if you ever saw Battle of the Planets, was that it was
Mm,
they edited.
maybe.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of familiar. I mean, there was stuff that was on, and obviously I would watch whatever was on, and.
Yeah. No,
But
it was
I remember, like, Speed Racer, of course. Would
right.
you consider Speed Racer anime or no?
It is anime. It is
Is
anime.
it? Okay.
Because it's the original name. You can watch the original one right now on YouTube. It's called Mach a Gogol.
Okay.
That's the original name. That's what it was
Yeah,
called.
right.
But the thing about it is Speed Racer also was edited for the violence. I think you got a message there from PB.
Uh-oh. I did?
Yeah, right there. It's on the
Comics
screen.
comics are like that? Okay. Only seen the animations, films, yet they are. See, I am not going to, claim to be a comics person or
That's
a
Cam. Cam is the comic person.
oh, yeah, yeah. Now, tabletop, I'll talk to you about
Yep.
tabletop,
Yep.
especially anything basically from 2nd edition on.
Yeah.
Um,
But
I'm not old enough to know, or was not active. I didn't get into tabletop until 7th grade, I think is when I was introduced.
Mhm.
Maybe a little bit late for some people, but that's my jam.
But yeah, no, the Battle of the Planets series versus Gotcha Man is was it Sandy Frank Productions, which Sandy Frank, if you ever watch Mr. Science Theater 3000, because they held like a lot of IPs from overseas, and the Battle of the Planets they edited in a character called Seven Zark Seven, a robot, which would
I may have seen
introduce
Battle of
the
the Planets.
episode. You're
It
like,
sounds
yes,
real familiar.
yes, and but that doesn't exist in the Japanese version. Now, the Japanese version,
Right.
Gotcha Man does have an English dub to it as well.
Now, a
But
lot
the
of the
thing,
stuff was done in the '60s too, right? A lot of
right? It
the
was like 60s, 70s. Uh, this
like
would be
mid
Gotcha
to
Man would be
late
late
'60s
70s.
and early
Yeah,
'70s. Yeah.
it'll be late 70s on
So
Gotcha
they
Man.
would have been in already have been out in circulation when I was little, and
Mhm. Oh, no, but they were continuing to repeat for
oh yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
'80s, they were repeating them like crazy. Star Blazer, and then you get
Was there two different versions of
reboots of the,
Voltron?
like,
Was there like a later version in the
Voltron.
80s?
Well, no, there's two different
Was there
seasons
like
of
one in the
Voltron.
70s and then
There was the Lions
yeah,
Voltron and the Vehicle Voltron, which was basically the Lions one was
later?
the
That
one
was the
where,
later one, right?
was
No?
the older no, it's the older that was made from the
And
legends
I'll
of
form
old.
the head.
The second one was built by Earth
Okay.
and basically was part of a group of explorers. They were explorers. Now, there is an episode where they combine together to fight together at
Oh,
one point.
really?
Yeah, they're basically they end up showing up together, working together,
Kind of a
against
crossover
the
between the
villain at
2?
that moment. It was a crossover between the 2. It was like literally they were because they were
Mhm.
explorers. Each of the part of Voltron was like a device that they like. It was a car, it was a plane. It was all different things that they used to explore with,
Okay.
and then it merged together one as being Voltron. That was the second season of it. Then they had other series after that, then multiple series. The same thing like with Thundercats,
Oh, now I remember when
He-Man.
Thundercats came out.
Yeah,
So
Thundercats is
so
now on Amazon too now.
so when I remember the premiere. Do you remember the premiere for Thundercats? So
God,
it
that
came on. It was shown in prime time on this brand new unheard of network called Fox.
mhm.
And it was on at like I want to say 7 or 8 PM. And it was like basically it was the first couple of episodes, but they
Hold
were
that thought.
all
Hold that thought.
together.
BB, is that Orbots or the GoBots? There was
Oh,
that
see, no. See,
because
I wanted
there
Transformers
was
and mom got me GoBots, right?
there's GoBots, there's Orbots, and then
The GoBots were.
Transformers. Which one are you talking about?
No,
Sorry to
no.
interrupt you.
That's okay. GoBots
You were
had the
saying.
scooter, right? Oh
Yeah,
god.
yes,
Right.
GoBots.
It was like the the Chinese version of the Transformers.
Yeah, literally. But you know what it was? You know what it was? Also, and the thing about it is, you want to talk about China. China took advantage of the situation with those toys. Is you had every 99-cent store had some sort of Transformers or GoBots or Orbots type
Copycat,
in their
yeah.
store. Yeah, copycat. Damn, there was
Oh,
that
yeah.
almost the same. And people be like, "I got mine. I got mine." I said, "No, you didn't. That's not a Transformer."
Nope,
You know?
nope, I had
So how much
2
your
of
mother
them.
paid for it? $2. That ain't a
Yeah.
Transformer.
Yeah. No, they were more like what? 12 bucks,
Okay, the
15
mighty
bucks or something
Orbots.
like
Okay.
that, the die-cast ones back then.
Yeah.
They weren't cheap.
Yeah, the
That's
die-cast
why
ones.
that's why mom got me the
No, they
GoBots
weren't.
because the GoBots were cheap, and I'm like, "What is this, mom? This is not a Transformer." Well, it's the same thing. It's a robot with wheels. I'm like, "Oh god."
And the thing about it is they're starting to show them again, the
Are they?
GoBots. On, there's like a channel on fast channels on Roku and all that. It's a WB uh, animation, and they've been showing like, what is it? What do they call it? Uh, they're showing GoBots. They're showing. I'm trying to remember the name of the damn show. God damn it, Tallyhawk.
Yeah,
Silverhawks. There we go. I had to start singing the song.
1984. Okay, I get you.
Silverhawks.
Well, he's saying the Thundercats premiere was in 1984. I don't know why he's saying
84.
it's in New York City because I saw it on television.
No, that's what I'm saying. New York,
Yeah, it wasn't
well,
that
it
was
depends
right
on where
because
you
I had
were.
been in thinking
Yeah.
about I moved to Florida in like 82 and it came out in 84. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Some places didn't get it at the same time. That's the thing. It's like you had like places like New York, California, Florida,
No, so
Texas. They
Fox
all got it like the bigger. the big network.
Same
Well,
Fox
no,
came out in
you're talking about
'86. Hmm.
right. You're talking about depending on the bigger um, affiliates got it first. Independent affiliates, they got it first, and then the secondary ones got it a little bit later. And that's before, right before they started doing Fox Kids, and some of the other stuff that they started doing. When they started doing Fox Kids and all that, that's when everybody got it at the same time. To that point. But Silverhawks was a great show on there. Um, and there was a couple of others on there. Galaxy Rangers was
I
another
just
one that was
remember it
really,
premiering
really
in
good.
Orlando on I was pretty it was like a brain it was shown in prime time. It debuted in
Yeah, because
1985. Pretty sure it was Fox. I don't think there was another network
by
then.
then, by then, by then in the '80s, Speed Racer was on like UHF
Yeah, well,
at that point.
Fox 35 was WOFL, and I remember when I first moved to Florida, and before it was an unaffiliated, it was an independent station. They used to have dialing for dollars,
Who didn't?
and it's like,
That was Channel 9 in WWOR, Channel 9, New York. Yeah, Dialing for Dollars and Bowling for
yeah.
Dollars
Now
on W
channel 24 was the PBS affiliate, and of course they would always have every other month they were doing a telethon trying to raise money, and I had
hmm
you'd see Doctor Who. They had the Guardians of Gallifrey that would come out.
We had Doctor Who on WWOR Channel 9
Really?
here in the '80s.
You didn't
Yeah,
it wasn't
when
even
basically
PBS.
no, no, they didn't have it on Channel
Mm.
13. Channel 13 PBS over here was the biggest affiliate of all the PBS stations. What they call 13 at the time was the big boy. That's where the big boys played. Um, they didn't really get the Doctor Who stuff. Their their basically their viewers were more into upstairs, downstairs, masterpiece theater, mystery, a lot of the other stuff on there. The smaller ones, which was it 21? I'm trying to remember the smaller the PBS stations on UHF on there. PB might be able to remind me on that. Um,
I think in
they're the ones who carry the Doctor
Chicago
Who.
was PBS Channel 3?
Chicago did
Was
carry it.
PB it was channel th it was
West Palm
channel
Beach
it was
was
channel
the other
3
one.
in Chicago, I think, was PBS there. I think that was.
Yeah, the PBS station West Palm Beach.
Mm.
Yeah, see, PB saw it for Doctor Who, and that was Tom Baker at the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
That was Tom Baker.
Yeah.
Robot. I saw Robot the first because it was the premiere at that time on WWOR. I saw Robot at that time, and this was done in the half hour
It says it's channel
episode because it was
11. Maybe there was a channel 3 that was in, Indiana that was in
really,
the Chicago.
really, PB. I don't remember that on WNET. What day was that on WNET? Because I don't remember. I mean, all I remember was Channel 9 had it, and then who else had it? Somebody else had it on the smaller PBS station. One of the smallest, and that's where I was watching it from there on. Because that was insane back then.
1980.
Because WWR you had was it Doctor Who, UFO, and I forgot what was the other show. Because you didn't get Space 1999 until late night until
It wasn't channel
PIX
3.
on PIX channel 11.
I just remember channel 3 being a pain in the butt because, when you hooked up your Atari 2600, you couldn't use
It
you
was
had to
on
use
channel
yeah, you
30.
had to use channel 4 because you'd still get television underneath it.
Was a good thing it had a
Yeah,
switch on it.
yeah.
Good thing it had a
I'm trying to
switch.
think of what maybe it was I don't know. Anyway, there was a well, yeah. You kinda had to because depending on where you lived, you either had a channel 3 or channel 4. But, oh, man, the good old days. Yeah, did you see
Well, let me add this to everybody that's in the chat. Hold on one
oh,
second. Let me see if I can get to this. Hold on one second. Da, 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 da. For those of you who are still with us,
we got
um,
3.
we do. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can screen share it. Hold on. Okay. We do have a merch shop. picking on that alone. And let me get this up here and maximize. Yes, we do have a merch shop. We have t-shirts, mugs, and everything like that on there. Uh, and basically proceeds do help this channel, because one thing, when you're doing this type of show, it does cost money somewhat. And basically to keep it going, it's very important, to that point. And basically we do have these. We've had these for quite some time now. These are brand new that's on here. These are our Let Anime Speak No to Censorship shirts that we just put up recently. And we got it all things. We got the hoodies out and everything like that, the mugs, everything ready to go right now for winter. We also have other anti-censorship shirts available to you out there at a decent price. I think we're just about to start at 10% off very soon on there within a week or so. Just when you go to the site and the shop qtocast.com, at the top of the screen, you'll see basically the discount listed there. Let me see, not to hold on, let me just take that out. Oh, there we go. I didn't want to erase you. But yeah, ladies and
Wouldn't be
gentlemen,
the
this
first time.
Cutie Shop CutieCast.
So it wouldn't be the first
Huh?
time.
Wouldn't be the first time. They're like, no, I lost them.
That's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, back then, man, oh god, the cartoons and everything like that. And the thing about it is everything's making a comeback now because you got Me TV Do you have Me TV Tunes yet?
Uh, I don't I don't know. I have to every now and again I have to go back through and scan the broadcast stuff on the TV. Just so it picks
Yeah,
up.
well, you should have it by
Well,
now.
yeah, but if I
If
don't
you don't,
I
if
watch
you
so much
if you
YouTube on my
don't,
television that I don't often, it's like
oh no,
when
it's worth it.
I
It's
go and
worth it. Trust me.
scan for stuff, like, when, like, the cable goes out for some reason, because I live in a rural area, so that happens, or it's 2 in the morning and I'm still up and they decided to do a planned maintenance while I'm, prime time watching my prime time television at 2 in the morning, and, so then I'll be like, "Ah, damn it." So now I gotta watch terrestrial TV. Alright, well, let's go over there. Uh,
That's what it was. Thank you, PB. Channel 21 on Long Island. Yep, that's where I watched Doctor
okay.
Who.
I can't remember. I thought it was Channel 3, but Channel 3 apparently was CBS, so,
Mm. But
I don't
yeah, no, MeTV Tunes is well worth it. If you can't get it via antenna, spend a couple bucks on Friendly. It's well worth it. I mean, they got Super Friends, they got Bugs Bunny, they got Woody Woodpecker, Chili Willy. They got some great
yeah.
stuff on there.
I was flipping around the other day and
Remember
oh, yeah.
Boomerang?
Yeah,
Remember
yeah,
Boomerang? Yeah, this is Boomerang
okay.
literally. Boomerang is not Boomerang anymore. This is Boomerang.
The way it was,
Literally what
yeah.
it was. I mean, they even do the black and white stuff every once in a
Yeah,
while.
I mean, I remember getting up early in the morning on Saturday morning and, you know, going and bugging my dad. My dad would have, he'd put on the Looney Tunes because that's what he grew up
Mhm,
with, right? So he, had
mhm,
Bugs Bunny
right.
and, Roadrunner and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for those who's pissed off at Warner that it's no longer Bugs Bunny ain't there, you can go over to WeTV. They're starting to run them season by season. I think they've loaded season 1
yeah,
already,
what's up, Doc?
which is from black and white. No, they're starting it from black and white, from the
Back when he was
early,
selling
early
war
stuff from
bonds
black
and
and white.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that far back.
But I mean, that's they were sticks of dynamite and all kinds of stuff. That was just that.
Yeah, Elmer Fudd can't have a gun
Are you
anymore.
kidding me? He's a hunter. That's all he
No,
does
you
is
gotta see
hunt.
that. Yeah, that exactly. They took the gun for him and Yosemite Sam. They took the guns
No,
away.
he's the rootinest, tootinest, shootinest. You know. Oh man.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. It's,
Look, I am not. I
and,
am not
and it,
a cancel culture person. I know that was your topic there. How about to bring it all the way around? Um, but these people need to be just canceled. Any of them that did this, those that canceled what made stuff good.
the thing is that I can understand that they say like a lot of the older stuff, and I've been
It's
talking about it
violent.
on some of my episodes. they said like, "Oh, it's racist because they do blackface." Da, da, da." You have to remember, it's a cartoon, it's a
Yeah.
caricature. It is supposed to mock
Yep.
things, because if you can't mock everybody, then you could never
I
mock
mean, there's
anyone
Tom
at
and Jerry
all.
episodes that would be questionable these days.
They're about to release the Hanna-Barbera the Tom and Jerry stuff from that
Yeah.
era, and I'm
Oh,
wondering if they edited it
they're
down.
gonna cut those out.
They're just about to release that on, Blu-ray
Y
4K 2K upgrade.
I've seen Song of the South. I had the record. I had the
So did
record as a
I.
kid, the
It was
Disneyland
never
record,
racist.
and I never remember seeing the movie, but you can find it out there now on the interwebs,
I saw it,
and it's
and let me tell you
not a
something.
bad movie.
It's not racist. It's not the
It's
greatest
not.
movie in the world. It's
It
slow.
is, but, the thing is people are like, "Oh, it's racist," and but well, first of all, it
What's racist about it?
it's actually the story. It's a
It's
traditional
telling
story
story.
from a particular ethnic segment of the population that existed in this country in the South, and
No, these are old African stories.
right,
These are
and they
old
have
African
roots in Africa. They had roots in African
Yeah,
stories and African, um, they're I don't know, almost their equivalent of, like, Grimm's fairy tales in a way, you know?
yeah, in a way, and the thing about it is you when you watch it and you're, like, saying, "What?" It's like Catcher in the Rye. Remember the joke they had on South Park in Catcher in the Rye? And he goes, "Wait, they banned this? Why the hell they ban this? He just had a couple of curse words and he's a whiny
Yeah,
little bitch." You know? People throw these things out at you, and they're like, "Oh, they're racist." And then, "Did you read it?" "No, I did." How do you know that it's racist?" "Because people tell me these things." I was like, "Then, you gotta see for
yeah,
yourself. Don't listen to what people tell you. If you listen to what people tell you, you'll never get
yeah,
anywhere."
yeah. Look, there's a difference
You
because I'm in Tennessee, and I know,
Mhm.
like, you'll hear, and I'm sure you've heard, "Oh, they're banning books in Tennessee." I'm sure you've heard it on the news, right? They're
No, they're
not
not
banning
banning
books.
books. They're removing books from the
They're
curriculum.
removing these
That's
books
what
from
it
the
is.
curriculum. The school libraries, maybe they can't have them in the school libraries, but they can have them in the public library. They're not banning the books. The books are not banned in the state of
No,
Tennessee. The books are not banned from the public
no.
library. They just are not age appropriate. Some of these books are not age some of them are not appropriate for anyone. Um,
Exactly,
but they're
exactly. I mean, they just put back, uh, the manga book Assassination Classroom in Florida because they because one woman and I always tell you this, it's always one
complained.
person,
Yeah.
this one mom that says, "Teenagers can't understand Assassination Classroom. It is really because they're killing the teacher." Okay, let me explain Assassination Classroom. Assassination Classroom is about a bunch of misfit kids who are in charge to save the world from this alien that promises to destroy the world, but the alien wants to teach a class before he does it. And he's given the government, all the governments of the world, the ability to kill him, the weapons to kill him. So who do they give the weapons to? To the kids. The kids, these weapons does not hurt human beings. It only hurts
Right.
the alien. But see, the thing about it is the alien is so fast, is like you're shooting it. In other words, you're shooting like what they call it, like BB. It's like a
I have
BB
one of
gun.
those.
Yeah, it's like a big BB gun,
I have a gun that
or
shoots lots of BBs all at one time, and it goes big boom, big bada
what do they
boom.
call it, paintball.
No, no, no.
Paintball.
No,
It's
no,
like
no, no.
paintball.
No, no, no.
Paintball
This
gun.
shoots lots of little babies. They're in these little things called shells, and I can
Mhm.
go right on my front porch and fire one off right now if I wanted to, and nobody will say anything.
Yeah.
Gotta love the
But the
country.
thing about it is yeah. But this one woman got the state of Florida to remove Assassination Classroom
This
from
is down
the
in
the
South Florida.
shelves of
Of course it
yeah, this is
was.
in South
Of
Florida.
course it was.
And, I can understand if you from, what is it, grammar school. If it's grammar school kids,
Hey,
yeah, I can
I'll
understand.
let you
That's a little bit strong for grammar school kids.
look at the chat on the YouTube stream. I'll let you make the call on that one.
Which one?
It's a held for review. It's not bad, but it's your channel.
Where's the help on review?
Yeah, you have to be on the YouTube. It's not showing up in the restream.
It's not
It's
showing up
not
on
showing
mine
up in the
either.
restream.
It's not showing on Restream. Where do I
You have
find
to
it on
actually
mine?
have the YouTube stream open.
Uh,
It's
does it say
no,
bad
no, it's
language?
something PB said that it's your channel, man. I would approve it if it was on mine, but it's up to you. PB, don't feel bad.
Well, unfortunately,
Here,
I
you want
don't
me to
see
show
it.
you what it said? I,
Hang on.
I can PM it to you, and then I'll let you make. This is what was said
Yeah.
because I'm not a censorist, but
Oh yeah, that one they'll
okay,
get me on.
that's why.
YouTube will PB,
Rephrase
I'm sorry,
it.
rephrase it, because unfortunately that,
Somebody will get offended on that one.
type of thing on that, dad will flag me like crazy after this is over, because I know somebody else got flagged for that.
Yeah, I'm so used to doing, with the Wednesday stream, so I actually have a
See, now
window
I gotta
open
know
and
how,
then
because I'm watching it on the stream, and it's not showing up on my stream.
hmm. It's not on Restream. It didn't make it into Restream. So,
Yeah, no, it's okay, PB, listen, it's you have to understand, and I tell people, it says, I don't
I
like
live
I don't
next to
like to ban
Alabama.
people or anybody. I wanna give everybody their voice and everything to the nature. Got Unfortunately, the YouTube gods, they will get you 2 to 3 hours or 5 days or 2 months later, and stuff like that gets slant. I tell you,
Yeah,
they will throw a strike on you immediately just for the chat room. And
yeah,
it's happened to, I think it's happened to Neurotic, it's happened to Az, it's happened to a lot of people. They said, "My god, this happened 6 months ago. Why are they looking at it now?" You know?
yeah.
It's
Um, but it's an interesting point what you've made.
Yeah, it is,
It became Elmer Fudd. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Well, it's like I said, when it comes to a lot of the characters of that era, they're cartoons. They're just cartoons. It's the same thing of the actual book ban of the Dr. Seuss books that are off the market now.
right. Which
It's
were
like
good
4
books.
it's like 4 or 5 books that are off the market.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
And
Yeah,
that and that's
yeah,
and that's not the first one. I mean, look at any of the ones that did that, any of the stuff
perfect,
like that,
PB. Thank you.
the Looney Tunes that came out like during World War II or even slightly
Oh,
after.
yeah, exactly. A lot of the stuff where they
Look at
do like
what
the
they did. Okay, you could say the Germans, what they did with the Germans, they made them look,
Japanese.
but the Japanese and the Koreans,
Oh, yeah, I mean,
yeah, yeah, that's actually, that's, believe it or not, that's kind of a strategy that governments try to encourage during times of war.
exactly.
It's to dehumanize your enemies, kind of like what a particular segment of people are trying to do that caused some major event the other week.
Yeah, exactly. The thing about it's propaganda.
Propaganda.
It's
Yep.
war propaganda, and the thing about it is you look at a lot of the movies back then that had to take, I mean, Charlie Chan. Charlie
Yeah.
Chan wasn't an Asian. He was a regular guy.
Yeah.
He's the number 1 son, number 2 son, and all the other kids were all Asian, but he was not Asian.
Yeah.
Well, it depends which one you're talking about, but it's like on that. The same thing with Christopher Lee, Fu Manchu. Christopher Lee played Fu Manchu.
Oh, yeah. The World War II cartoons were definitely well, I mean, they're also pushing
Of
war
course.
bonds,
And that's the thing, that's the understanding, because
government
people call it
encouraged them to do it.
yeah, people call it racist. I call it historical caricatures, and basically they should never be erased. They should be, looked upon and to
For what they
to
are.
what they are and understanding for that period. It's things that happen. 50 years from now, people are going to look back at the shit that we've done, and people are going to try to cancel that.
They're insane.
And they're going to say, they
What
were
were they trying to
insane. What are they
do?
doing? You
What
know,
were they trying to
doing this and
do?
that. And I'm going to tell you, that's part of history. It is
Yeah.
part of you can't erase that. You
Those that
can't get
forget
rid of these.
history
And I tell you, so you
are
can't get rid of these cartoons. You know, they wanna, like Mr. Popo on freaking Dragon Ball Z. They're like, There's races on the Popo. What's Mr. Popo? People don't know what Mr. Popo is. They said they think he's of one particular minority. He said, no, he's not. He's not. Yes,
he's
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 dark
an
skinned.
amalgamation,
He's an
right?
amalgamation, but
Yeah,
he's not what you think it is.
yeah,
People don't understand. These are caricatures. Like the Japanese are known for this.
yeah.
They are heavily known for this, to creating the most weirdest caricatures ever that offend a lot of people. Yeah, very offensive characters, but that's why they shouldn't be erased. We have to remember so we don't repeat the past.
Yep,
Exactly.
exactly. Those who
Exactly,
forget
JB.
history are destined. Well, and that's the thing. When you try to cover it up and pretend it didn't exist, when you pretend the bad things, it's like everybody likes to say, and I heard this from other people. Oh, I couldn't live in Tennessee because I'm X, Y, or Z, and it's like I see X, Y, and Z here all the time. What are you talking about?
Mhm.
There's a lot of people that were born and raised here that are X, Y, and Z. What do you I'm sorry. Explain that again to me, but there's a mentality and it no offense, but it tends to be people from up north
Mm.
that have this idea that the South is like this racist bastion, and they apparently forgot that there was a civil war fought about that, and, you know, the Union won. And a lot of that stuff went by the wayside. By the 60s it was on its way out in the South. I mean, it
Mhm.
was, before I was born. I'd never, and I never encountered much of it myself. uh
I've
you know
seen a lot of it in my era as a Puerto Rican,
yeah.
from a Puerto Rican point of view. Because
But did you see
in
well, so you in South Florida, you probably it
Well,
was
no.
it was like Puerto
No, I'm not
Ricans
talking
versus
I'm
the
not talking
Cubans
South Florida.
versus the
I'm
Dominicans
not
versus
talking
the
No, I'm not talking South Florida. I'm talking about New York City.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking about New York
and
City.
that's the thing is I think there was more of it in Chicago than there was in
Well,
Orlando or
no,
or
no,
or Tampa or whatever.
no, what we had here, you know how we had, because when the original when they attacked the Twin Towers originally, and then you had
Yeah.
9/11, and people got really into chastising a certain group,
Mhm.
you know. When I was growing up, we had the FALN. PB will probably remember this.
I
The
don't
FALN
remember.
was the Puerto Rican Liberation Organization. They were a
Oh.
terrorist group.
Oh, were they like, they wanted, PR to become its own country or
Yeah,
separatist or
they
something?
wanted
Yeah.
liberation from Puerto Rico. They went around bombing installations and stuff like that in the city of New York. They were responsible for, was it the was it Francis Tavern was theirs? I'm trying to remember which one. They were like, there was several bombings here in New York and Chicago.
Yeah, see, they had the New York what they call it, we always call them the Chicoricans in Chicago and the New Yorkers and because I have my ex-brother-in-law is New Yorican. He was born
Right.
and raised in New York. He's a Yankees fan. Of course,
Mhm.
I'm a Cubs fan. So
But see, the problem was that, you had people who, um yeah, New York, New Jersey, and they were a thing around here.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the thing about it
I don't
is that
remember them,
they
but
came after us. They literally, it didn't matter, who you were on there. They just didn't like you. I mean, I had, this one particular person would come attack me on a daily basis when I was a kid, and his
really.
parents would encourage it.
See, now that's wrong.
And it got to the point, I mean, I had to get new glasses every once in a while.
Yeah.
I had gotten a new jacket for Christmas, and we did like a Christmas pageant because I was in a Catholic school. He took a knife and knifed it up. It was like a feather goose down.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and it just literally just tore it up. We went to court on this. You know what the judge said? Same thing in The Simpsons. Let boys be boys. Just give them
Uh,
some boxing gloves and let them fight it out.
yeah. Well,
And
nowadays that mentality just
it was the mentality back then. When people say, "Well, you know nothing about bullying like these days." Yes, we do. Trust me, we do. And nobody did nothing
um
about it. And when they complain, it says, "Well, we got to get something done about it." And you're pushing and pushing, pushing. Where were you guys when I was a kid?
yeah, I got beat up for being the fat white kid by the Vietnamese and the uh it's just like stupid stuff, kid stuff, but whatever.
Yeah, but the thing about it is we went through, not only us, it was not only me, it was like a lot of people in my community went through the same thing too. It
Yeah.
was a rough time. It was a rough time,
But
you
see,
know.
but I grew up in I grew up in a multicultural everything. I'm suburbia. So, I didn't live in you saw this in Chicago and I'm sure you see it in New York, see it in New York too, where there's like neighborhoods that are very homogenous. Like this is the all the Latinos live here and the blacks live here and where I grew up in Florida, it was like there was a black family that lived down right down the end of the street. There was a uh, Eastern European family next door to me on one side. There was Filipino across the street. The Vietnamese kids were down at the other end of the street. It was like, eh. My high school was well mixed, and we all rode the same bus, and you know that wasn't it wasn't that big of a deal. And then people tried to bring um, certain mentalities and attitudes from outside of the South down to it and introduce it and cause problems.
Mhm.
And for the most part, they kind of backfired and fizzled out. So yeah, but you're absolutely right, PB.
Yeah.
Bullying today is like you made a microaggression at me, and it's like what? Oh, you just did it again because you cocked your head and looked at you like you got three heads. We went through.
Yeah,
We
but
got
at least
name
they're
calls.
getting canceled now these days now too.
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw a girl get arrested that she was, dancing over someone's death,
Yeah.
and she decided to, like, flick the guy that was, like, holding the sign, that was saying, RIP, and the
She
cops were right
licked
there.
licked him, or
No, 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 she, like, flicked him, like, you take the
oh,
fingers,
she committed battery.
she committed battery, which would be
Yeah.
considered battery, and
Yeah.
and
Laying
they
laying on
arrested
hands
her,
is
and
good.
the university expelled her.
Good. Good. Because,
And she's wondering why, and she's like,
there's a difference between, and I don't know where you went with the Kimmel stuff earlier. I missed that. I was eating, sorry.
well,
I
no,
don't know how much you talked.
The Kimmel stuff earlier is because there's another issue with that. The issue is that basically Nexstar and the other company that's on there, they are buying another Nexstar is buying another company,
Yeah, yeah. Nick,
and the regulators are already on top of this prior to this.
yeah. There is something to say though, because in I saw a lot of this last week. People were saying that they were calling on they this is on Twitter or on X, whatever you want to call it. They were adding the FCC chairman and say next you need to go after MSNBC and blah blah blah, CNN and this and that and the other, and I'm like, I knew this was going to happen. First of all, you're an idiot. God bless you, but you're an idiot because the FCC does not regulate MSNBC,
No, they
CNN,
don't.
or any of that. Anything
Nope.
that is broadcast on cable or on the internet or anything like that is not regulated by the FCC. The
No.
FCC only has direct control for content wise over the air reception devices.
Yeah, they've been watching too much of that
OTA.
FCC episode on Family Guy.
Yes. The FCC cannot there is no such thing as a broadcast license for MSNBC. They don't have one.
Nope.
Neither does CNN.
No one on the
Now,
internet does.
nobody on the internet has a broadcast
Nope.
now. Does the FCC regulate, the network itself? Can the cable signal be blowing
If
out of
it's
the
if it's on cable TV or over the air or
right?
ATSC 1.0 or 3.0, there's where you can get
Yes.
slammed.
When I get on the radio and talk to people, they can come after my license.
Mhm.
If I'm if I say something bad, or but as a general rule, I try to avoid that.
Yeah.
And yes, we could probably argue the First Amendment and this and that and the other, and it's like I just rather not talk like that on the radio, and I don't want to hear other people doing it, and I don't want to interfere with people, and they don't usually want to interfere with me, and the ones that do, we just call them alpha hotels, and we're done, and that's it.
Hold on that thought 1 second.
Mhm.
Deborah?
I'm holding
I thought I
on.
heard my wife come in.
Huh.
I was trying to
But my point was is that, you know, um, you're asking for something for them to do something that they can't do. Now, ABC Disney, and by extension, owns 8 television stations in the country. 8. All the rest of the television stations, are 230 of them, are affiliates, including the one that's close to me in Knoxville. I think that's one of the next star ones. And yeah, I can guarantee you that people in Knoxville, the Knoxville broadcast area, are probably pretty like, I don't want to see this crap. Jimmy Kimmel hasn't been funny for years. If
No,
he wants to get a cable show, he can get a cable show and do whatever he wants, say whatever he wants, as long as it's not
you know what was
assault,
this week? What's his name?
libel.
That's good on CNN. I forgot his name. Um,
Mm.
he was saying,
He's like from Kentucky, I
yeah,
think,
he
too.
goes,
But
well, he used to do blackface and big girls with big tits on trampolines back in the day. So yeah, that's when he was good.
yeah,
That's when
yeah.
the Man Show. That's when Jimmy Kimmel was good. It was back in the day in the Man Show with
And
Adam
you know who
Carolla.
was better? Adam Carolla. And
Adam
Adam
Carolla.
Carolla is still funny, and
Yeah,
Jimmy Kimmel is not.
Jimmy Kimmel. When Trump got into office, that's when Jimmy Kimmel
He
went,
broke.
"Woo," took a nosedive.
Kimmel broke. There's a lot of them that broke, Colbert,
Yeah.
you know,
And the thing about it is Colbert and people is like saying, "Well,
sorry.
it's freedom of speech." No, it's not free. It's not a freedom of speech issue. It is a business
Yes.
decision.
Yes.
They took him off the air. Yes, he said something wrong, and
He said something factually
he
wrong.
he said
And
something
then
factually wrong that could got them sued
yes, and
majorly,
could still get them
and
sued.
still could get them sued
Yeah.
if he doesn't apologize. I would expect Charlie Kirk's wife and probably Donald Trump will launch a lawsuit against ABC. I would
And
not be surprised.
it's possible Trump could sue him too, but
Trump is already what is it, 2 for 2?
he yeah, and so if you watch the clip that they played after that, it was a clip from a few weeks ago when they were asking him about the, building the ballroom, or the thing that they're building at the White House, that people have been wanting to build for 100 years,
Yeah,
because uh, a tent is tacky, and he's absolutely right.
yeah,
Why would we put up a tent at the White House when we've got the land there? Just build the thing there. That can be his contribution. He's paying for it. It's not even coming out of taxpayer money. But
no.
come on, it's a yeah. What's wrong with that? He
It's
doesn't
a gift to the White House.
right to the yeah, and it's cool, right?
Yeah.
Um,
You gotta understand, all 3 networks, when it comes to late night shows, they're all failing.
yeah,
Their ratings are in the toilet. When Colbert left, when Colbert got let go, well, he hasn't been let go yet. Officially. I mean, he's officially been let go, but his show ends next year. I said, you know who's next? Jimmy Kimmel. Then
Yeah.
either the Tonight Show or Seth Meyers are going to be next after that.
And
Because it's like the soap operas. It doesn't pay anymore.
who was the so Craig Ferguson was funny. I
Craig
found him
Ferguson was fantastic.
I
Conan
found
O'Brien,
him
Craig Ferguson, Jay Leno,
Yep.
um,
Yeah. Jay Leno would never come back.
Arsenio Hall,
I
uh,
did not like Jay Leno when he was on the Tonight
the
Show.
latter Jay Leno.
I
That's
liked
what it was.
him
When he first
after
started,
he was off is when
no,
I became to appreciate him.
no,
When he
what
was
happened was the first time you have to watch that movie that they did about the late night wars. That they made a movie about Jay Leno and David Letterman when they were fighting for the Tonight Show, and then Letterman ran to CBS.
yeah.
So they gave him a great deal at CBS. But it's like the first half, Jay Leno was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not, I'm okay with this." He was like a really mild, weak guy.
Yeah.
Then when his agent overstepped her bounds to that whole insanity that happened, that his agent,
Yeah.
because she was the executive producer and stuff like that, she just literally like it was like, fuck them, fuck the network, fuck that. I'm doing this is my show. The Tonight Show is my show. And she got kicked out. And Jay had to step up to the situation and made his own deals. And that's why he got very arrogant. Hold on 30 seconds.
All right. So the FCC doesn't regulate cable television. You're exactly right, PB. You're dead
Yeah,
on.
that's right. My wife just walked in.
Okay. Did she? Okay.
Because I heard my cat. I heard my cat going meow meow, and my wife is home. Yeah, Letterman was better than Leno. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Letterman was better before he moved networks too.
Yeah, and that's the biggest mistake NBC. Like, if you get a chance, see that movie, and you'll understand. The shit that they went through to that period. Even though that some of it they kind of smudged it a little bit, but the thing about it is that war at that time. I mean, I think the funniest part was Letterman got a new agent that was CAA, which he went on. I think he went on to Paramount or one of the other big companies. It was the guy, his agent, and everybody was coming in. Fox, UP, all these networks that were coming in at the time period. It says, "Oh yeah, we'll give them at the time period, and this, and that, da, da, da," and some of them were like insane things that they were going to give him.
Yeah.
You know,
I like I said, I didn't mind old school David Letterman when he was on. He got a little more opinionated and
well, that was CBS, so you got to remember,
yeah.
it's the same thing that happened to Conan O'Brien. When Conan O'Brien left NBC, he couldn't take half the stuff with him.
Uh,
He had to recreate himself when he moved to the net to cable.
yeah.
Because basically he couldn't take all those great characters that he made on there. He had to create new characters, new bits, because NBC says we have the rights, and that's the same thing what happened with Letterman.
Yeah.
Letterman couldn't take a lot of things. I mean, there's a joke, and he said there was a joke. If you can find the old press conference, which is in the movie, they recreated in the movie. And they said, and they like the reporter goes, "Hey, what about Paul Schaefer? Oh, wait a minute, can we bring Paul Schaefer with us?" It was like the whole. They said, "Oh, do we have anything in the budget?" Yeah, no, we'll bring him along. There was one point that almost they couldn't bring Paul Schaefer over.
Yeah. Or the band, even because the band was under contract to, you know. Oh yeah. It's just
No, it's not. Hold on. The woman I'm talking about, and I'm trying to remember her name. It's not Letterman's agent. It was a Leno's agent. Hang on, I got to bring up that movie. Hold on one second. Let me bring it up
yeah.
on the screen here, and I can get all the names. What was the name? It was The Late Shift.
Is that
Yeah,
the name of the movie?
yeah, it was The Late Shift, and it was Helen Kushnick. That's what it was. Helen Kushnick. It was Michael Orvitz was Letterman's new at that time period was the his agent at CIA
Ah,
on there. So there's a lot of history on the people on there because you have Warren Litterfield was involved in this on there. Ron Perth, Michael Horvitz, who else? Brandon Tartikoff, Peter Lassie. I mean, there's some big people at the time. And this, I mean, this was it. John Michael Higgins played Letterman. Daniel Roebuck played Jay Leno, and Rich Little played Carson. It's called The Late Shift. It was made. It was a book made into a HBO movie, and it just told the war uh, between Letterman and Leno to gain on there. And I love how Carson just said it to Leno, and he says, "If it was me, I walk away." He says, "What you got isn't my show. You got the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. That's what you're getting." Because Leno was banked. I'm talking, he was banked. He wanted the Tonight Show.
yeah. Well, and where my appreciation for Leno came from, uh, his work o- on like Home Improvement and then Last Man Standing.
His
Um,
stand up is fantastic.
yeah, well, and
All his movies
I
stand.
think he got to be more of himself in those, and some of the stuff I've seen, like you know, some of the stuff that with his cars when he's passionate about something, he's really entertaining.
Oh, okay, PB. I know the lady we met was running Dave's Letterman. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, at NBC at the time. Yeah. No, the one I was talking about was Kushnick, which is basically that's the one that got banned from NBC. They literally kicked her out of NBC. Leno fired uh, Jay Leno fired her, and literally they just literally they're like, don't let this woman on the lot ever again.
Oops.
Yeah, no, shit, no. It's like I don't know how because I have to go through the history books on this one because according in the movie itself, they were doing what was it? I think it was an election time or something today. Somebody was doing a speech and it was running over, and what they were going to do the Tonight Show live, and there was a live reaction after the speech and everything like that. And the speech went overtime. And supposedly Helen Kushnick was like pissed off that it wasn't going on all the time. She called NBC News and basically was chastising it on that. Says, "Lady, I don't work for you." And it was like that to that point. I don't work for you. I work for this one. And basically, she sent the audience home. And basically, um, what was it? Warren Littlefield shows up, and basically he comes up and he said, "Okay, we're ready for the show." And there's what the fuck? Where's everybody? Oh, she sent them all home. I said, are you crazy? We have no Tonight Show tonight. We were supposed to live. I sold this. I sold this to the networks, and I sold it to the advertisers.
What did he do?
Well, no, they were like they tried to push her out first, and just um, they manipulated Jay in a way.
Yeah.
But Jay got smart above them, and started listening into some of their private calls to their conference calls,
Yeah.
and started using that against the network.
Yeah.
So that's when Dave turned around and was like, he went, just walked away from NBC and walked over across the street to CBS.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. There was a couple of them that I liked, and most of the guys I liked were the guys that came on after the guys. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. But
They
there were a lot of
because
other crazy ones. That you had Chevy Chase.
yeah.
I was talking about Pat Sajak before you came in.
Pat Sajak was fascinating.
Yeah, but he got creamed in the ratings.
Yeah, he did.
That's when CBS flipped over and around the 90s, and they replaced him with silk stockings and Forever Night.
Yeah.
You know,
Neither of which did I watch very much of.
What, Forever Night? Forever Night was great. Silk
Yeah,
Stalkers
Forever
is
Night was alright. Silk Stocking was not my genre.
well, then, it
But
was like sexy Mi a really sexier Miami Vice with sex in it,
oh,
that's
I hear they're bringing that back too.
they can't bring that back.
I know.
That's gonna be censored like crazy. They ain't gonna bring back that's
But
not gonna be like the original, and
it
besides, I think one of them is dead, in the
well
series.
well, I oh, yeah, but I mean, they're gonna reintroduce obviously, it's gonna be modern day Miami.
Mm. 'Cause I know they're doing
Um,
another Miami Vice. They're doing another Miami Vice movie.
what do you think about this, uh I haven't heard anything since. Of course, there was events that happened in between, but, um, the, uh the Knight Rider movie, and it's gonna be set in the same universe as the $6 billion man,
Yeah, but which Knight Rider are
and
they using?
the, what was the and Airwolf.
Yeah, but which Knight Rider are they using? Are they using the original
I heard
series
that.
Knight Rider, the made-for-TV movie Knight Rider,
I
or
I hope they're
or
just
the
kinda
Team Knight Rider?
did we talk about this last time?
Holy shit, yes, we did. Yes, we
Deja
did. Holy
I'm
mackerel,
like,
we're repeating ourselves.
"Oh my god, deja
Sorry,
vu all over
guys,
again."
sorry. If you were in I know PB was in that chat. I really do apologize at this moment. We're repeating ourselves.
Oh lord, I'm getting old.
Yeah. How can I not remember that one? Oh my god, let's get away from that.
Yeah, yeah.
Grr.
Oh, let's
Remember
go
the song.
somewhere else. Pew, that's that, where
No.
am I going?
Oh, here's one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't realized yet, if you're going on Pluto TV and you're wondering why you can't watch anything on the live portion of Pluto, you have to sign in now. They're asking for you. It's not you're gonna pay, is they want you to subscribe to Pluto TV now.
Because
Um,
because you are what's for sale.
well, no,
Come on, we know that. That's
well,
what it
no,
is.
that's what it is.
You
Also,
you
they
are the
wanna
you are the merchandise.
yeah, exactly. Well, no, it's that they're well, especially now that they're merging it. There is talk that Pluto's going to be merged into Paramount also on top of that. So that's probably why they're
Does
doing it like this.
Paramount does Paramount own that, or who
Yes,
owns that?
that's
Oh, okay.
Paramount. Yeah, Paramount owns Pluto
I
TV. It's still going
I
to be free. It's
I
they're
like
gonna
some of the stuff on Paramount, but I don't know if I wanna pay for it. I like the new Frasier. It's alright.
well, Tulsa King starts this weekend.
I have not watched that show yet. I
Tulsa
know
King is
this is what,
so
season
good.
3 now? 2, 3?
Samuel Jackson's joining the cast this year because they're
Cool,
giving him a spin. They're giving him a Tulsa King spinoff in New
cool.
Orleans.
Is he gonna wear
So
a patch?
no, he's not
Or
wearing
wield
patches.
a
It's
lightsaber?
from what it looks like on the credits this season, they're getting into the whiskey business this season.
Okay,
'Cause
okay.
it was like season 1, it was like they were starting out, with, he was just getting there. They were getting into the marijuana business and all that, and it continued
Yeah,
on into season 2, and then
gambling.
now we get into the liquor business in season
Yeah.
3, and it's really good. Stallone is at his best.
Yeah,
He as and all the other character actors on there because the main story is that he's got he's a mobster that went to jail for 25 years.
yeah,
At the time before it's sort of like before the technology really kicked over. So like he doesn't know what an Apple phone is or like he went to go pay for something and he says, credit card please, and he goes, you don't take cash? It says, no, we don't take cash. Is it when did that happen? You know, it's like, fish out of water,
yeah.
you know.
I don't know. I kinda don't like when people don't take cash.
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't. But you got to remember,
I you almost wonder if it should be outlawed.
he's in Tulsa, in the middle of Tulsa.
Yeah, well,
Okay, the backlands and stuff like that. So it's like, this is it's sort of like that other series, Lilyhammer,
yeah.
that was the what's his name from The
Makes me
Sopranos.
wanna go buy cash. Just pay for things with cash. Just
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
just
Lilyhammer
deliberately.
Lilyhammer is like one of the mobsters from Sopranos goes to live in Norway.
Oh, it's a spinoff?
No, no, it's not spinoff. This
Oh,
was
okay.
years ago. This is early
Oh.
Netflix. This is one of the early Netflix shows.
I was
And
gonna say Lillehammer. Wasn't that where the Olympics were held?
yeah, that's the reason why he wanted to go live there. He was
Oh,
like, because
okay.
basically he turned over state's evidence, and they said, "Well, we can send you anywhere you want." He says, "I want to go live in Lilyhammer." So where do you want to go there? That's where the Olympics was. But it's long since gone. It's deserted and all that.
Yeah.
And it's like he's living in the wintry snow on there, and it is hysterical. It's the one that's on the uh that he's in the band. He's in Springsteen's band.
Oh,
That he was on The Sopranos.
okay.
But Tulsa King, totally, really excellent. The other series is Landman, which that'll be out on Paramount in November, and that is good. Um, Billy Bob Thornton, he's excellent in this, and it's about the oil companies.
Okay.
It's sort of like Dynasty, but you're in the oil fields,
Yeah. I
and
still got to catch up on what the last season of the was it the last half of the last season of the Karate Kid or of Cobra Kai.
have you watched
And I
Alien?
haven't watched Wednesday's season 2 yet. That's still trickling
It's
out, right?
okay. They're
They're
going to three. They're going to season 3.
Yeah. I liked Wednesday. I thought it was a good show.
Yeah, now she's a trio.
She's a trio.
Remember, it's like her and a roommate.
Yeah.
Now it's a trio.
So they got a third roommate.
Not a third roommate, a groupie.
Oh,
You'll
okay.
see. You'll see. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's a good power she has.
I think she's good for it. I think she did a great thing. She's going to age out of that role though, really
Oh
quick.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. She's gonna age out of that role.
So they've got to, if they're going to do anything more than 3 seasons, they better just keep on filming while they can because she's not,
Gaga
she's
was in this season.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga is in this season. Billy Piper from Doctor Who.
Okay, I know who that is.
Um,
I know
uh,
who Lady Gaga is too, but
yeah. It's
I'm not a fan.
God, what's her? I'm trying to remember her name. She's in you ever saw Absolutely Fabulous?
Uh, Probably at least once.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
the
familiar.
one that plays Patsy. I'll get you the name now. Hold on one second. I get the cast up again here. Because Christina Ricci does return for season 2 on that. Yeah, Billy Piper. Blah, blah, blah. Where are we here? Where is she? Steve Buscemi is also in this season.
Does he have the whole world in his hands?
He plays the new principal.
He really does have the whole world in his hands, huh?
Yeah. Where is it?
You got that reference, right?
Yeah. Oh,
I saw that movie. I liked the movie. I lived there. I said, that's not possible for the plane to crash that way. 'Cause you know what I'm talking about, right?
mm-hmm.
Con Air. If you've ever been to Vegas and if you watch the route and how they crash, the plane would have had to have been in 20 different pieces at the same time at 8 different locations across Vegas
Mm-mm.
in order for all the stuff you saw to happen that way.
Joanna Lumley. That's Joanna Lumley on there. Who was the last Avengers girl, the Avenger with Patrick O'Neill. She was
Okay.
the last woman to be on the show on that as well. So she's playing grandmama, the other grandmama from um, the mother's side of the family.
You ever seen that saying about the Golden Girls? I was buying my wife
Oh,
a
Jesus
card
Christ.
and trying to find stuff, and I saw they've got the Hallmark stores now have Golden Girls merchandise and stuff like that. It's like, really? And
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
uh, where did that come from? you know?
Yeah.
Hello, 1994.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is you look up and how old the Golden Girls were.
Mm. Now, have you been watching Alien Earth?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh God,
Is that the wait? That's not
Aliens
the
on Earth.
Alien spinoff? No.
Yeah, Alien on Earth. The concept is good. The order of the as the episode order is really horrible. The scripting is horrible. I mean, they're finally getting really grotesque in just episode 7. The season finale is next week, and they just started to get really crazy with the xenomorph.
No. I saw that is the Alien spinoff, right? The
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
I
but
saw
there's
the
like
first episode, I think, or part of it. I was on vacation.
yeah, but that eyeball alien is driving me nuts.
Mm,
It's like
I
it's highly intelligent. I mean, highly intelligent. It's it's not going to go good for whatever, however this is going to end with that thing. Whoever's going
yeah.
to end up with that thing in their head, because the way the main guy was talking, he says we're going to have to stick that into somebody's head to find out if he can talk.
Hmm, that's funny.
And then meanwhile you have a
That's not gonna go
xenomorph.
well.
Then you have a xenomorph running around the island. It's
Yeah.
just, and then you got Wayland Yutani and another company fighting over all these creatures. And this is like a couple of years before the Nostromo is supposed to return to Earth. I mean, they're taking it from part of it point of view. Yeah, Alien Earth is Peter Pan sent to science fiction. I can't believe how much, because what's happening is that you know how they have Ash and Bishop in Alien.
Yeah.
Well, in this, there's another company that has figured out a way of interjecting the human mind into that type of bodysuit. So they have all these kids that were sick. They can't interject an adult brain for some reason. They explain in the beginning. But there's like these kids that are just like on death's knocking on death's door, and they transfer them in there. And the guy who runs the company, the boy genius, he's like he gave them the names from Peter Pan characters. And he reads Peter Pan to them every night.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just literally, you know, someone made a reference. He goes, "The xenomorph is the crocodile."
Hmm.
It's, it's like writers can't get their projects greenlit, so they can work on studios and write projects using the platforms of things we like. Yeah, yep, that's it. It's not aliens. It's literally the story of Peter Pan. Yeah, it is. It is. That's what I mean. The scripting is so ridiculous. This could have been better. And the thing about it is, I don't know if you agree with me, PB. The second episode of them back on the ship, showing what happened in the past, that should have been part of episode 1 and 2, where basically they show what happened aboard the Margot, whatever, the Maggot ship on there. Because basically what it is that it's a ship returning after a 65-year journey into deep space, and it's bringing back all these aliens inside containers and stuff, and they got like 6 or 7 uh, face hugger eggs in there with
Yeah.
them, and they're just returning back to Earth. But then, literally, something happens partway through, like in the first chapter, and the ship ends up crashing into Asia, somewhere in Asia, Siam, basically, and some of the alien creatures get out. There's one alien that basically had already birthed out and is running around inside this skyscraper in the first, on there. But the thing about it is, you get that first part of it, and then a couple of episodes down the line, they go back to show you what the hell happened on the ship. I said that should have been in the first, in the second, first and second episodes. It's like you jumped it all the way into the middle, and then you just confused the hell out of everybody. So we'll see what happens at the end of this, at the end of this series. I don't know if it's going to get a season two. I doubt it'll get a season two.
It just didn't look. It didn't look like it. I don't know. I tried it.
Killer of Killers looks much better than this. If you haven't seen that yet,
Oh.
no, it's the Predator. It's the Predator animated movie, which was really good. Killer of Killer. In fact, they changed the ending on it too. They re-edited the ending because of the way the ending went. But Killer of Killers is basically takes place in 3 different time zones, and basically it's 3 different people that had their basically interaction with a predator. One of them takes place during the Viking era. The second one takes place through feudal Japan, and the third one takes place during the Second World War. It's like Predator versus World War II um, PT fighters on that. So it's basically what happens is that each of the characters from there, um, after they defeat the predator, they're kidnapped by the predators themselves and brought back to their world to fight each other, and the winner of that will fight the ultimate predator of them all.
Okay.
Oh no, this thing is this thing. No, this thing is like it's sort of like their king or whatever it is. This thing has dreadlocks down on the floor. You know how the predator
Yeah.
has dreadlocks.
Yeah.
These things are hanging down like freaking spikes down to the floor.
Yeah. I saw some pictures or something from it. I think they were comparing it to
Yeah.
somebody
Well,
famous.
they changed the ending because what it is that they linked in Killer of Killers is a link to Prey, the live action Prey.
Yeah.
Do you remember Prey? The Predator
Yeah. Yeah. I
Prey,
never saw
the
Prey, but I
fighting
remember
the Indian
that. Yeah.
girl.
I remember I saw the
Yeah,
preview for it.
yeah. Well, the Indian girl comes in at the end of at the end of this movie. So on there, because basically, like I said, they kidnap the ones that defeat aliens. I mean,
Right.
predators, and bring it back to their world. So they, what other characters have defeated predators in the Predator universe?
Well, Arnold, right?
Mm-hmm. And
Um, Batman?
no, Danny
Oh, no.
Glover.
Is it Danny Glover?
Batman. No, they re-edited it where they brought in Dutch and they brought in Danny Glover in that they're frozen freaking on the Predator
Oh,
homeworld.
okay. That's funny.
Yeah, I know. Hulu made a Predator film with a girl that's 100 pounds soaking wet, fighting a predator in a hand-to-hand combat. Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous. The Viking woman was a lot better than that, than the freaking Prey,
Yeah.
because that's ridiculous. That was just totally ridiculous.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Well,
It's
what
going
time is
on
it?
9
Oh, we're getting to
9:30. Yeah.
9:30. I think we're going to close this out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those who've been in the chat. Thank you, PB. Everybody else that is tuned into this. We really appreciate this. We're going to try to schedule this a little bit more easier so you'll know when we hit. But we're still testing. I think when we hit October, we'll be a little bit more finalized in what we're going to do, who's going to be on. We're going to have other guests other than Deaf Angel Shadows, but we appreciate him
Hey,
coming
anytime.
along here. We do appreciate it. I try to get Snob and I try to get everybody else. Cam
Cam's
was the only one
always a
that linked
stick
me
in the
back.
mud at this hour, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out Man with the Show during the week. We have more videos coming up. We got a lot that's coming out next week. A Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on there. And our Taco Thursday will be returning in 2 weeks. So at this time period on there. Anything you want to plug?
Nah, the only thing I got, I on my Ham Radio Rejects channel, I opened a couple of boxes.
You want to plug the other show?
Oh, Wednesday nights, Babylon 5? That one?
Yep.
Yeah, that's on
Babylon 5,
Sci-Fi
yeah.
Snobs channel.
Babylon 5
Come and check it out
retrospective on
if you
Sci-Fi
missed the
Snobs
episode.
channel.
Yeah, if you missed it last night. Oh, let me see if I can find I got my link, my cheat sheet handy here. I'll drop a link.
You have
Yeah.
your cheat
Oh,
sheet.
yeah. Oh,
Pull it up.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, PB,
we'll
take
see
care,
you,
man.
PB. And
Take
PB
care.
was there. PB was watching.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, have you watched
Not
next week's
yet. I'm
episode
getting.
yet?
I might.
Okay, I'm going to give you a hint here. Look very carefully. There is a hidden message in the
Okay.
episode. I didn't want to say it during yesterday's feed. I wanted to wait till
Okay.
afterwards, but do check out that there is a hidden message in the episode. It's a subliminal message is in the episode.
Subliminal.
Little there's I kid you not. There is a
Like I gotta
subliminal
pause it
message.
on
It
a
was
still frame
Oh yeah.
to
You gotta
find it.
pause it still frame to find it. Yeah, it comes so quick.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. It's during the commercial breaks. I'll give you that hint. You'll understand when
Okay.
you watch the episode because this whole episode is IGN.
Okay.
Oh, not IGN, or not IGN, whatever Interstellar Alliance.
Are they sending another message,
basically
kind of like what's his name sent to the doctor? That
no,
was
this
2
is
episodes
not
ago,
like that.
right? I think it was.
Yeah, that was 2 episodes ago. No. This is
Okay.
something else. And basically, you blink in the wrong direction, you'll
Okay.
miss it.
I'll
I knew it was there from
Yeah.
years ago, and I was looking for it again, and I was trying to pause it, and I said, "Yeah, it's still
Is
there."
it so it's on the DVD then? It should be on the DVD.
Definitely it's on the
Okay.
DVD. It's on the DVD, Tubi it's on Tubi TV also, so you're able to do it. It was harder to get to squeeze it on
Probably,
Tubi
yeah,
TV.
because I can go frame by frame
And plus Tubi TV is out of sequence.
Oh,
They got everything
yeah.
shuffled, like, the episodes are shuffled
So,
around.
is it gonna be early on or later on? Or like
Later
okay,
on in the episode. I'll tell you
okay.
it's later
Just
on
so
in
I
the
know when
episode.
I need to start focusing on looking for it, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah, it's a good subliminal message on that. I just love
a
how
lot
it's
of
thrown
times
in there.
I'm at this point writing stuff down and looking back and forth and trying to write names down, and so I may watch it now that you told me, I may go ahead and do a pre-watch and then not take any notes and then do my
Always do a pre-watch, and then you can
yeah,
always go back.
yeah. And I just haven't had time to do a pre-watch lately, so,
Yeah. All
that's
right.
why
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We will see you on the next video.
like and subscribe.
Subscribe, like, share.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Yeah,
important. Very important that you do that.
I have one for that too.
YouTube is pulling these AI things on there. I'm hoping that basically now that I'm doing live streams, this will push me up in the algorithm a little better on there. That I'll get noticed. My first live stream did very well. Second live stream was because I think it was was that the Friday Night Tight one? I think that was the one on Friday Night Tights I was going up against, and I think I won't do that again.
Yeah, Friday Night Tights is gonna always be hard to compete against.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to compete against them. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. We'll see you once again, Sci-Fi Snob. Oh, at Top Lofty Lounge Sunday night, 11
Sunday night.
p.m. They're doing Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, I wanna watch I gotta go watch that. I think I wanna
I just got the 4K. I just got the 4K.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's available at Walmart. I'll go get it.
No, Amazon's got it. It's like $27.
You think I'll be able to get it in time?
Possibly, depending on your zone. I know you can get it in a day.
Depends on where it ships from.
Yeah, it depends where you ship from. I know I got it in a day.
I mean, yeah. It depends on where it ships from. Let's put it that way. And what method it ships.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
See ya.